Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to Phil's Recap and Review. Oh my goodness. This is for Better Call Saul, Season 6, Episode 7, Plan and the Execution. The execution. I'm guessing if you clicked on this, you will understand that this is going to be a spoiler podcast. I couldn't even wait. I couldn't wait the 5 more minutes to start the show. I had to get out here. Wow, what an end to an episode. What an end to a half a season, even though this wasn't planned to be a half season. They tried to temper expectations to be like, guys, we didn't plan this to be a mid-season finale. But I think they said that meaning to go, we didn't mean to kind of set you guys on the line to have you wait 6 weeks for a conclusion to this amazing freaking conclusion to this episode. Wow! Holy shit! I didn't see it coming. I didn't know what. I knew something bad was going to happen, but in the moment of watching, I'm thinking, Howard, you're such a good guy. You know, you're taking this like a champ. You're offering him a drink. You know, this guy, he's doing anything he can to connect with them. Jimmy's basically saying, yeah, we screwed you over, but it's okay. We ruined your reputation. But basically, you're going to be okay. You're going to figure it out in the end, Howard. And Howard agrees he's going to figure it out in the end. It's like all good vibes in the Sunday morning cafe. And then, Jesus fucking Christ, you pardon my... No, I'm not even pardoning anything. Jesus fucking Christ is the correct expression for this particular scene. And then we see the way they focused in on the candle, and the candle moved right there to see the breath, you know, the whisper of him coming in. The whole episode starts off with Lalo being a freaking Ninja Turtle. What the hell's happening here? What an episode of Better Call Saul. I really enjoyed this. This was worth the payoff for me in particular. I liked how the Hamlin plan came through. That gave me satisfying results. We got more of the Mr. Show actor with the kids and the drama team and stuff, and a lot of good funny one-liners in the beginning half of this episode that made it sort of stand up to the excellence of the humor aspect of Better Call Saul. But hey, everybody, welcome. Oh, what a good night of television. What a good half a season of TV. The only criticism I have right now is just that I have to wait this long for an episode. I understand why they split this in half and try to double up the award season situation or whatever reason they're trying to do it. But I know initially this was supposed to be aired right back to back to back. And now I can't believe that I'm not going to be able to watch another episode of this next week. That's literally my only complaint with this particular conclusion to this arc. Lalo continues to be an extremely captivating character on my screen. Watching him plot and scheme and do all of his business is exceptionally entertaining, and he kills it on screen every time. And just little subtle things, just him hanging out in the sewer, him realizing in the moment that Gus would be smart enough to bug Hector's phone and then using it to his advantage. The little subtle thing, and I said it at the beginning in passing in my screaming fit right there. This is all Mike's fault. I chalked it up in my brain to whatever aside in the moment. But Mike says when he's talking to Gus about how they're going to set up everybody in preparation for Lalo to show up, and they took them all off the secondary targets, the lawyers being one of the secondary targets. It kind of went through my mind in passing. Oh, yeah, yada, yada, yada. I thought Lalo was planning something, some sort of scheme to make them, because they mentioned that Victor was at the laundromat. So I kind of thought initially that maybe he was going to visit Victor in that moment, and it was a plan that was going to set up with the gun that was laying there. And some association with that, and we're going to be left with some sort of Cliff Main hanger. I love all the memes with cliffhanger. It's going to be a Cliff Main hanger. Wow. I'm like flabbergastedly entertained right now with my television experience in this particular week. And I'm not alone here. Of course, I have with me, as always, I see you guys right now. Not the Kiwi. The Kiwi isn't with me right now tonight. But I have with me the motherfucking chat. Great to see all of you guys in the live chat tonight. Thank you so much for joining me this evening to discuss this particular episode of Better Call Saul. And I do want to send a huge thanks to the Vivid Kiwi who joined us last week and it was really awesome. Shared it out, helped be our biggest episode of the season. It was amazing to have him, and he's definitely going to be back in the off season and after episodes. I'm sure he'll pop his head in the live chat at some point. Maybe we can get him to peek in at some point, and if not, we're definitely going to do stuff in the off season and then next half of season after episodes. Hopefully I'll be able to get him on a handful of episodes as well. Holy fucking shit. The man, the myth, the legend, my partner, my usual suspect partner on over there in Teflon TV just dropped the Super Chat donation. Toast to Teflon TV for that Super Chat donation. If everyone hasn't already, make sure you go out and subscribe to Teflon TV. One of the best creators out there, and my partner. And you can see me pop up on there on occasion as well. Kiwi is pacing around his room like a madman. That's what I did. I ended this episode. I started running around in circles. I was like, how am I going to even talk about this? What the hell? I can't wait 5 seconds. I can't focus on anything else. I need to get out here and talk about this episode. Just what an unbelievable conclusion. So let's see what people in the live chat are having to say right now. Sorry, dog. I am what a freak show. I didn't see that end coming, but I did see that end coming, but not until Howard walked into the room. I put 2 and 2 together. Lalo saw the cockroach in the sewer, so I knew he was going to go see Saul. Once Howard walked in, I said, oh no, it says death proof. Whoa, did not see that death coming, says Corey Mitchell. Saw the kid, please start the show early. I listened to you. I saw you put that in the live chat. I'm like, I'm going to start the show early. Softbat says, even with it being Lalo on an idiom with a gun and a silencer, I still didn't see it coming, and I was gagged. Yeah, it really kind of poked me out of nowhere. That situation, that's something I'm going to have to deal with all night tonight. The dog is even more excited about this episode than I am. I'm dog sitting, so I have to deal with this other dog, not my own, not the one you see in the chair barking tonight, but we'll deal with the situation. Oh my god, I'm shaking, what the fuck, I'm cried, I'm not gonna lie. All those whiny people saying that the season was slow after Nacho, this is what you call a payoff, says Jay in the live chat. I agree, this is definitely what you call a payoff when it really, it's worth the slow build when you pay off, which is such an exciting moment like this. I apologize for the dog barking in the background, guys. To get Gus to move his guys off other sites and catch. Yes, exactly. And that's the genius of Lalo in the moment when you see it working, because you see the wheels are turning, but it always comes in a way that I'm not quite expecting. And that's one of those things that this show just does. I knew that, I had a feeling that Howard was going to die, but my head was wrapped around somewhere with the drug that they were going to give him was going to give him some sort of heart palpitations, because we heard about it being like a hardcore caffeine thing. So maybe it would screw with him from a caffeine standpoint. Some part of me thought about this Lalo thing, but it still didn't pay off in the moment. I didn't see it going exactly the way it did. And that's what these guys are doing. They're playing a sophisticated game of poker with us, and they know when to call, they know when to raise at the right moment, and they sit in there and they work this writer's room, they plot these stories, they come up with these points, and then they break down these episodes with these people that truly love this series and add some essence to it. I think somehow in the last few episodes, it was, some of the actors were directing. We got into really understanding and digging deep and building up this plan, and this just sets off this final act for an amazing conclusion to see how what happens with this Lalo and Kim and Jimmy moving forward from this situation, and then see where it goes through this and see how Gus inevitably has to take down Lalo at some point in time, or Mike needs to take him down. We're going to get a one-on-one MacGyver versus Bruce Willis from Die Hard, John McClane, one-on-one battle going on with Columbo versus Murder, She Wrote in the ultimate battle of all time. I don't know who Murder, She Wrote in that. I guess Mike's Murder, She Wrote in that situation. And Lalo's very Columbo. Oh, shucks, I'm going to kill you, whatever. Wow. Oh my God. Yeah, I'm pacing around my room. I'm shook. I can't even type. Jack me off. Phil, can you talk about the soundtrack? It was creepy and different. It was really creepy and different. We're going to listen back to it when we get into the recap section, but it wasn't. I love all the original music that was used always, but it was orchestrated in a way that even the tones, the synthesizer sounds that they were using create different different genre feels on this show at different times. It's extremely exciting the way it does it, too. Everyone, if you want to call in, you can call in at 781-990-8509. Again, that's 781-990-8509, or you can text on in. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I'm super freaking excited about this. I cannot wait. Just finished. Oh my God, says Steve Smith. So Saul knows Lalo is alive, and we'll get another. Yep. It was just Ignacio. Maybe another Ignacio. He doesn't know that Nacho's dead, so there's no reason why he wouldn't have mentioned him before if he doesn't actually find out he's dead. What I'm really excited to see is the conclusion or the reaction to how Jimmy handles the fact that Kim lied to him this whole time and how upset he is about that particular situation. Howard's blood got on the painting wall. Could you please stop, dog? Please. Oh my God, I don't know how long I can handle this with this dog. Sorry, everybody. I'm scared to rewatch this episode. Me too. I'm scared to get into it again and feel this because it came out of nowhere to the shock experience. I was watching along going, oh, this is interesting. Okay, where's this going to go? How's this going to end? And then it just, whoa kind of moment. I just was not expecting it. Pennywise will tell you that the modern marsupial sewer system is not that spacious. It's very true. This is a huge character shift for Jimmy and Kim, seeing someone be killed in cold blood right in front of their faces. They weren't ready for it. They didn't want it. They had those looks on their faces like they were not expecting or hoping it. Howard had it. Okay, this is a question I have for the chat. This should have been the question, not if maybe I'll put a different poll question up in a second, but just a question, general question from the chat. Did Lalo give Howard a chance? If Howard had left right when Kim said, Howard, leave, Howard, get the hell out of here, would Lalo have let him walk out? I kind of think he might have. I don't know about you guys, but it seemed like for a moment there, like Lalo wasn't going to shoot him on sight. When I first saw the wave of the candle flame, I thought, oh shit, he's just going to come in and shoot. He's going to just get this guy out of the way. But it seemed to me there was like a half a moment where Lalo might have let Howard walk, but I don't know. Maybe I was reading no. People say the candle was in Howard's lifespan ending. Ice-T says, nah, no fucking chance. Howard was a dead man, says Mike C. Phil, you're living in fantasy land, Disney World right now. You fucking idiot, Phil. No chance. Everyone in the chat's telling me I'm a moron on this one. Nope. Steve Smith, simple. Nope. Not gonna happen. Nope. Not a fucking chance. The candle was Howard's lifespan ending. It did not have long to wait. Thank you as always for the Kiwi being in our live chat right now, rocking it. Okay, I paused. Talking Saul. Phil is better than Chris. What's his face? Thank you, Joseph. I appreciate that. I would be skipping this if he wasn't hosting. No offense against Chris, but when he's saying that The Walking Dead is good right now, he loses all credibility. You know, like whatever I think about him as a host or anything like that, if you could be watching current Walking Dead and have to say good things about it, I don't want to hear him. They should have just and I know Vince isn't there tonight, it's just Peter. They should just be letting Peter host it. Or like let the Better Call Saul Insiders podcast like host Talking Saul tonight. Like, why do we want to hear from Chris Hardwick? I mean, why do you want to hear from me? But you know, I'm on YouTube. I'm not on the channel afterwards. You know, like I just have the cast on and let them talk about it. They're entertaining enough, and they know how to interview themselves. But anyways, okay. Nope, don't let them off the hook. It's not Howard's fault. What happened to him? What did Kim lie to Jimmy about? She lied that Lalo was alive. She told him that she knew for a fact. I forget what the terminology was exactly, but she said she knew he was that he was dead. So he once asked if Chuck survived the fire. Hey, was the drug in the soda or the photos? The photos, I believe. And that was something, again, in the moment, I wasn't sure what was happening when they were spraying down the photos. But I believe the drug was on the photos. And when he was touching the photos, he got his little dirty hands dirtified. Now Saul's in the desert scene. We'll have the story told. Lalo will tell them Nacho betrayed him. Ooh, that's interesting. Rest in peace, says Justin to Howard. We need justice for Howard. I mean, who's who's gonna tell the tale of Howard Hamlin? Who's gonna cry for someone like Howard Hamlin? I thought if we're going on speeches going out before you die, you got to give it to this season as putting on an all-time list here with Nacho Now Howard. That speech he gives about himself and his whole life and why me? Why are you picking on me? Just because I'm annoying, because I'm an asshole, because I took away your office, because Jimmy, Jimmy, I understand you. You're a piece of shit, Jimmy. You can't help yourself. Chuck called it on you, dickhead. Kim, you're better than this, Kim. What the fuck? It was a really good speech. And again, I said this earlier, Howard went out with pride and dignity to a certain extent of understanding that he got bested. And in this game, he can't beat Jimmy and Kim. He just can't do it. And I love how Jimmy and Kimmy, we're all Jaime Lannister and Cersei Lannister having sex on the corpse of their dead kid. They're like listening to the call, like, yeah, how, like we never see Jimmy and Kimmy. Oh, God, Jim and Kimmy. I'm doing it again. Kim and Jimmy. That's like crazy sexual, but they start like just like humping like rabbits right after they scam out Howard. They got so turned on by that. Are they going to get turned on when Lalo leaves too? From what Lalo watched? Oh, is Lalo going to leave that for them to clean? Are they going to have to call Huel up? Oh my goodness! Justice for Howard. Poor Howard. Now I want Mike to ice Lalo even more. They just went after him for the thrill of it. Howard offered him a job, only kept him out of it because Chuck paid Kim through the law school and on their partners track. They're fucking monsters. And I love how Howard called them out on that. Looked at them and said, what is wrong with you two? You didn't do this and just like you said in that comment, you didn't do this for money. You didn't do this for anything. You did this because you two are sick fucks. That enjoy this. You did this for sport. I'm not going to do a horrible Michael Caine accent, but it's like what he says about the Joker in the Dark Knight movies. Some people just want to make it all burn down. I don't know why I started to say that like Jack Nicholson. Some people or some horrible, ridiculous accent because I'm off my kilter tonight because of this episode. This episode put me on fucking tilt. Jimmy doesn't have a heart, man. Chuck was right about him. Every time Jimmy makes me think like maybe does have a heart or some sort of conscience in it, the way he just handles it, the way again, to just say the poker thing, the way Jimmy handles every scam, no matter how much intensity it can have on someone's actual life, no matter how much, he always views it as just someone losing a game. Like you're playing the game of Monopoly, like you're playing a game of poker, and you just sucked out on someone, and you beat him in a hand, and you got all your outs, you got your perfect straights, and you're acting like you're the greatest thing since sliced cheese because you did it, or just being just another hand, no worries. Oh, you lost the whole fortune. I don't care. But in poker, it's true. I mean, it is just a game. You got to respect what you buy in for and understand you might lose it. But Jimmy and Kim in this situation just did it for sport, just to fuck with him. And again, Howard's right. He's a dick. He's a dick cheese a little bit. He's a little bit, he's got a little bit of the boss from Office Space. He's a dick cheese. He's a douche, but he's not a bad douche. He's one of the good douches. He's a douche you make friends with, and he buys you drinks. He almost knows everyone's name at the office, kinda. He like knows what their names sound like a little bit. He's harmless. He's a splash up against the fucking wall in Jimmy and Kim's fucking apartment. Sorry, dog. He's dead, dude. He's fucking dead, dude. Big E. Thank you so much for the super chat donation, Big E. I think for the first time, at least me watching television, that a spin-off show might end up being better for you than the original. This is the biggest compliment I can give Better Call Saul on that end. It's in the conversation. It's especially if they're sticking the landing, like to me it feels like they're about to have this. This is not a ridiculous thing to say. I'll make that final conclusion when they're all said and done. I watch both series again back to back. But the point of this, Biggie, is fuck yeah. and I've said it millions of times, and I'll say it again. This is the best chef in the world. This is Raekwon the chef cooking up some good food for us here. No, but it's Vince Gilligan the chef and Peter Gould the chef cooking up, and more Peter on this show, more Vince on Breaking Bad, but both of them on both. And as they say, give Peter Gould his flowers. If you love this show and your go-to thing is to say, Vince Gilligan is fucking amazing, he does this, he deserves credit too for the whole frame of mind of this creative team and the way that they all look to him and want to almost satisfy him and entertain him. But on this show, as much as both of them are the captains, this is Peter's show. Peter is the showrunner A and Vince is showrunner B to a certain extent. And that's not to say that they both don't sit in the room breaking the stories together. They do. Both shows have both hands all over it. Once Peter was on Breaking Bad, they quickly became very easily working creative partners where you can't always tell where one hand goes and the other one ends. But I just want to make sure, as I'm celebrating this show for the actors, for the direction, for the writing, for everything included in this, I feel like Peter Gould is the left out one in this situation sometimes because Vince gets the flowers he deserves for all of this crap. But Peter deserves a lot. At least 50% of the credit for the foundation of this show, maybe even a little bit more at this point, where at times where Vince was working, like last season when Vince was working more on El Camino, or at different times where Vince is taking less of a hands-on approach to episodes and working on this show as much as Peter does. So I just want to spend some few moments here giving Peter Gould his due desserts and credit for making one of the shows. And in this conversation, we have two great meals made by two amazing chefs that work incredibly well together. Poor Howard. I can't wait for Lalo to end up buried in that wall. Better Call Saul is a bit better than Breaking Bad, in my opinion, says Darth Legend, because it mixes humor with the darkness more. Some people again, this is an argument that we will have when this is all done. I'll do a show. We'll have the Kiwi on. We'll have a couple of other people on. Maybe we'll have a roundtable discussion about comparing those two shows and giving our votes for different things: cinematography, action, story point, blah blah blah. Make a kind of big fun night with it. Get you guys in the chat voting on it and stuff too, and getting your opinions on it. But that would be definitely an amazingly fun show we'll do post the final episodes of Better Call Saul to kind of look at this all encapsulated, because this show is continuously giving us more of these amazing moments. Now, in the first half of the season, we've had these two incredible, amazing, kind of moments on the show that have just been outrageously entertaining, and the lead-ups to them have been satisfying for me on every level. And I see that we have a bunch of voicemails. We're going to get to those in a moment. Excuse me, I'd love to hear what some of you guys are thinking about your thoughts on this episode. We also have a couple of texts as well. But I cannot wait. How do you think Gene's story is going to end, Phil? That is the tough one, right? I mean, that is the most difficult one to see. And I'm going to do some thinking about that. And I know the Kiwi and I are going to do an off-season prediction video. And I'll get a little bit more into that right now. But my instincts on how I think the Gene's story will end will be not good. I feel like this is not a happy ending for anybody except for maybe Jesse a little bit. And I think the Gene story is ending for not the best ending for Saul Goodman and Gene, but we'll have to see about that, won't we? Definitely my favorite episode of the show, says Danger Dave. Definitely up there. The pacing of this episode especially was really on point for me tonight. And everything just popped really, really well. And it brought me in and out of it extremely well. Like each scene transitioned extremely well to the next scene. And obviously topped it all off with that big pop at the end. Big fucking pop at the end. 2 headshots and a half a season. Right, yeah. And, really, if someone's asking me which show is better, Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, my answer is yes. Yes, shows are just as better. We got another super chat, though, fucking nation. Kim looking at that candle reminded me of Arya Stark versus the Waif. Final battle. Where that was Arya's a magical transformation into Wolverine by the end of that fight, when she jumped into the water and was healed. Okay, so let's oh wait, I gotta pause this shit. Pause it. Okay, let's get into some texts and voicemails. Here we go. Area code 419 says, I knew Howard was doomed as soon as he walked into that apartment. Also, the foreshadowing with the candle wavering in and out was superb. It really was. This was another episode that just, more than the last two, this episode really fucked with camera angles. Some stuff that was just at odd angles with, just stuff cut in just odd stretches. We had the whole thing with the shopping cart, camera dolly move and stuff, which was really cool. This next message is for Tony and I for Wednesday. Let's go to area code 205. Let's see if this is for us here. Let's see.
Hey, Phil, this is Mel MC.
Hey, welcome.
Better known as one of your biggest fans. Been watching you for a long time. And to say, after we finish the finale of Better Call Saul, just think we'll all watch Breaking Bad and see it in a whole new light. I can't wait for it. Can't wait.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for the message, Megan. You were cutting out a little bit, but I think what you were saying there was it's going to be so awesome pretty soon when we finish this series. We can get a whole new perspective on all of Breaking Bad. I kind of eventually want to do a whole rewatch podcast on Breaking Bad and go back and do live watches and discussions similar to what I do occasionally with Soprano episodes, and kind of just rewatch them and just talk about them and break them down, like pretend they're new. But it is so awesome. I can't wait. It's very exciting that is actually coming to an end here. Mike says Lalo is a psychopath. There's no way he could be helped. Roland, welcome to the live chat. Aussie American says they could really use Mike to help them figure out how to explain that one to the cops. Oh yeah, exactly. Like I was gonna say when I was like, what are they gonna do to clean up the body? Call Mike. You can't really call Mike to be the fixer of this situation. How are they going to cover up this death? Will they say Howard killed himself? Probably. I guess that might be the tactic that they'll go. They'll have to, will Lalo just leave the body there for them to deal with? And they won't have to do anything? They won't be able to do anything with it? Or because who can they really call besides Mike? Wait, I just figured it out. Not figured it out, but this is just, why can't they call Mike? Who else would Saul know to call? And why would he know Mike anything to do with the war with Gus or something like that? So you could think that maybe Lalo will leave and then Saul will call Mike because he's the closest thing to a fixer he knows. So maybe that will help figure out the situation. But I could be just naively putting 2 and 5 together and getting 9. I know it's 7. I'm just meaning I'm wrong. But I could go either direction. But that's just a flashing thing that popped in my head. Holy shit, we just got a handful of Super Chat donations. I have to scroll up and get them. Thank you so much. You guys have been unbelievable. Oh, the gods. Is this episode out already? I'm having the spoiler of a lifetime. I'm so sorry. Marcelo, I'm so sorry. Fuck. Disraeli Davis says Howard had the Hank vibe, how Hank had walked cold, but the words of Jesse Pinkman was smarter than the luckier than you are, better lucky than good, as they say. And even the way that Jimmy and Kim, I was talking about the Nacho episode being Ozymandias-ish, but in that moment where you get Kim and Jimmy begging for Howard's life there, like please don't do it, it was very Walter begging, and except Howard didn't have that Hank moment where he turns to him. You didn't realize I was dead 10 minutes ago kind of vibe. So it's really fucking sad. Let me see. That's drink for you, Disraeli. Whoa, there's Howard. Rest in peace. Tristan, thank you so much for the super chat donation. How can we live with these months? I'm just going to be on the hunt to try not to look at spoilers or anything like that, because this is going to be tough. How are we going to wait these 6-7 weeks or whatever it is for more episodes? And fortunately, it is only 6 weeks, but it still seems like a lot of freaking time. It seemed like it seems like, especially with it being so short, it seems like it's extra long. You know, if it's only 6 weeks, I'm like, why are they waiting? And I know I've heard discussions that part of the reason why they're waiting is because they want this show to be up for multiple award seasons, possibly. But yeah, you know, I still would have loved to just have them bang out these 13 episodes. And I know this has nothing to do with the production team of Better Call Saul, Vince and Peter and team. They don't decide this shit. This is all AMC milking it to a certain extent. So I get it. This is the thing you do at the end here with these multiple seasons. And honestly, that's the craziest thing about this episode. Didn't mean for us to have to wait 6 weeks for the conclusion to it. That's why Peter is like, yeah, you guys are going to hate me, pitchforks, and you're going to want to kill me because of this episode. In that dry Peter Gould tone. Motherfuckers! We waited 2 years. We did wait 2 years. So 6 weeks isn't too bad. 6 weeks isn't too bad. We're going to get the summer. We got a couple of other good shows poking in there. We'll try to do a bunch of podcasts about Better Call Saul in between the time to help bridge that gap as well. Got some good shows coming up to talk about. Coming up soon, so make sure you're subscribed here. But I will be back for those final 6 episodes to talk about each one of them after they air live. So I hope if you're enjoying this nonsense and you're joining us, because we have been very lucky to have a bunch of new people popping on in here. Thanks to the Kiwi, thanks to everyone sharing it out. And if you're watching this, please hit that like button. Please share this out to help more people get reached and touched by this podcast right now. But if you enjoyed this silly nonsense, please, we hope you'll join us again after the next 6 episodes and some other shows that we're going to talk about here too. So anyways, okay. The difference where Game of Thrones sucked as they were milking out the last season, this show is actually properly landing the plane. Yeah, they know how to play Top Gun, and they've landed the plane before. So here's area code 331.
Hey, so what an awesome episode. I was wondering, what was the moment that you realized what was going to happen with Howard and the judge? That Howard is going to accuse the judge of getting an ethical tribunal. I mean, because that was so set up earlier than when it actually happened to be.
Now, sorry, maybe it's my phone's that's a little messed up tonight. Let's see. Let me listen to that back again.
So what an awesome episode.
I want to see something. Let me fix something, everybody. Give me 1 second here. Give me 1 second. Let's try this again. I am technologically savvy. I can figure it out.
Hey, so what an awesome episode. I was wondering, what was the moment that you realized what was going to happen with Howard and the judge? That Howard is going to accuse the judge of getting an ethical tribunal. I mean, because that was so set up earlier than when it actually happened to be.
Okay, the call broke up a little bit, but so at what point did I realize what was actually happening with the judge situation? It all sort of came together really by accident.
All right, man, take it easy.
Oh, so, I'm sorry. We had a little the call. I don't know if it's my phone line. We have one more voicemail. We'll see if it's if we're 0 for 3, we'll know that it's actually my voicemail line. But sorry for some technical difficulties. But everyone's excited. The phone lines are going a little crazy tonight. But please leave your thoughts on the episode and keep them coming. So when it all started to come together for me was just, it all sort of started to piece together as it was happening. Especially the way with the judge situation, I didn't understand exactly where they were going. My initial thought was they were trying to set up Howard to make it look like he was paying off for the bribe and that Jimmy was going to dress up like him again. But then the way they set it up to change it out for someone else, handing him a Frisbee and changing the photos out, is not exactly how I thought it was going to go. I didn't know exactly what was happening until that actual moment. In the moment, it was when it really sort of settled in for me. And so yeah, my answer is not right away at all. And everyone, wait. What a joke. Some of you have asked me, what does Joe think, my co-host? Joe and I will be on this coming Sunday evening to talk about Joe's thoughts on this season of Better Call Saul, and also some other shows as well. Okay, so abrupt night. Yes, soft patch. It was a very abrupt conclusion to the night. And let's see. Oh, I think we got a message from our good buddy Big J. Let's see. He was a little disappointed out of last week's episode. Let's see how Big J thinks, and this we'll be able to tell because Big J usually has a solid connection. So if the connection is off, we'll know it's our phone lines are a little off tonight. But if not, well, here we go. So here we go. Is Big J's thoughts on the mid-season finale of Better Call Saul.
Phil, Big J here, man. A lot different than last week, bro. Unfucking believable episode, man.
Big J.
I mean, I gotta apologize for my rant last week because I rewatched that episode a few times, and it was really a good episode. And I don't know why that night I was just maybe Big J had his boxer shorts.
No, and I'll rewind this because I want to hear Big J, and I know that the phone lines are working good now. So Big J, I think a lot of it is we said it in the moment too. When we're waiting 2 years to watch an episode, and we're watching an episode in all week to watch it, sometimes just your head's in a certain space where, and especially the way that they've dipped our dick in it twice. our collective television balls in all of our balls in this show, once with the Nacho thing early in the season and build us for that amazing high, and then to bring us down again into introspection in such a unique, awesome way in those 2 episodes. But I can get where, like by the last episode, it's just stick it in already. I get you. And on rewatch, that's what I was saying last week too. On rewatch, I feel like the last 2 episodes are going to watch a lot better for some of those Happy Harry hard I was just like, I need it now because of how well they got us off earlier in the season with Nacho's stuff. But absolutely awesome to hear that you liked the episode, Big J. Let me hear the rest of your message now, buddy. Cheers to you and cheers to our Super Chat donators for helping me keep doing this with those donations. Thank you guys. You are amazing. And everyone checking this out before or after the show, sharing your thoughts about Better Call Saul this half a season. This has been a lot of fun, guys. And we haven't even gotten into our recap tonight. We're going to go through this episode all the way through and almost get ready to start there. But thank you. Just want to thank you guys one more time for joining in the silliness after this episode. I need the support groupness after what I saw happen to goddamn Howard. So let's get into Big J's voicemail.
Unbelievable. I mean, I gotta apologize for my rant last week because I rewatched that episode a few times, and it was really a good episode. And I don't know why that night I was just maybe Big J had his boxer shorts up on a bunch or something. But I tell you the truth, bro, the way they fucking ended the mid-season, this episode was off the fucking hook, man. Yeah, Lalo in the fucking sewer with the rats and the roaches. He's a sick motherfucker, man. I love Lalo, man. And you know what? Poor fucking Howard, man. That guy, you know what? This episode, they really made me like fucking hate Kim, man. I can't stand Kim, man. She's a dirty little bitch, man. He's right. And then in the end, he's at the wrong fucking place at the wrong time. Dude. All because of what they fucking did to this poor man. And now he gets a fucking bullet from Lalo right through the fucking head. Rest in peace, Howard. Oh my God, what a fucking episode, Phil. This is why I love this show. This is why I love how they put it all together. Big J was disappointed last week. I was pissed off. And tonight, I'm in my fucking glory. I'm going to probably watch this episode like 10 fucking times, man. Awesome.
Thank you.
Pal. I guess I'll pick up with you in June or July, whenever the second fucking half comes, man.
July, my friend. Thank you, Big J. Always great to hear from Big J. Glad that it satisfied you. And someone in the live chat just said, and have a great night, Mike C. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, everyone, popping it in and out. And make sure you hit that like button and help share this out as we're about to get into our second half here of all of this silliness. So, I hope I'm wrong. Donald J says, I hope I'm wrong getting a Game of Thrones feeling. I think that's just post-traumatic end of series disorder. You're in okay hands here. This is Vince and Peter. They know how to end things. It might not be exactly what you want, but it's going to make sense and it's going to be satisfying. And most importantly, the problem with the Game of Thrones ending more than anything was the two guys making it didn't want to be doing it. These guys want to be doing this. So you're going to feel love through this ending. It's not going to feel rushed. It's not going to feel forced by a network because these guys have carte blanche, whatever. I know I mispronounced that. They have carte blanche on anything they basically want to do on this channel within reason to a certain extent because of the successes and the credit that they gave through Breaking Bad. So these guys kind of have a blank check on it. So you're going to get, I think, an ending that they're all satisfied with, really, and they're inspired and invested in this. And that is something you did not get in that final season of that other show you just talked about. So in Vince and Peter, I trust. So I'm on board with that. So exactly. This is an Ozark. They don't have Netflix hounded on them. We get some big boys in the. I'm staking it. I don't know what it is, and I know this is so hard to quantify, but people could say you're a labia licking ball washer. You're gonna love everything these guys do, and there to a certain extent it's true. I am. They are my binky. Breaking Bad was my binky. I love what these guys do, but I didn't give El Camino the most glowing praise in the world. There were parts of it I liked, parts of it that I didn't love all of it, and that was created by Vince, and I was definitely critical of it at times, even though I gave it some glowing praise as well. So I'll be critical if things deserve to be critical. This show is going to stick the landing. All of that to say, this was another example, the way they've handled the Nacho situation, the way they've handled every single season finale on this fucking show, the end of this Chuck arc, the end of this Nacho thing, everything that Gus did, the way they handled the Hector situation to show him getting into the wheelchair, the way they even handled at the beginning of it all, the stuff with Tuco. The way that they've handled everything, it's the law of averages. They haven't done anything to show to me at this point in time that they're not going to kick this fucking ending's ass and give me an ending that's satisfying to what I want from this show. So yes. So I will. I don't want to stop you from being having the lower expectations, because I think sometimes going into saying it could be good, it could be bad, or I'm not expecting the most, and when it slaps you across the face, it's going to be even better. But these are some of the few creative people that I will straight up be like, they're going to do something awesome. I have no question that they're going to pull off something awesome here with this conclusion. It's happening. It's happening. There has to be a reason they had the scene where he is filming his own confession or whatever. What if Vince puts out the song "Don't Stop"? But this podcast, wait, everyone, don't stop believing. Dun, 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 don't stop. Sorry. That's not how Better Call Saul is going to end. It's not going to be some Andy Kaufman joke where people go up to the TV and go, is the TV working, honey? Honey, is the TV working? That's what David Chase did. We're not going to get something like that. We're going to get something conclusively awesome. It was a good movie. It was pretty good. This wasn't bad. The Chuck arc would be an awesome band name. I might have to do that. But do you know what I do have to do? It's about that time to recap! If I start running around, the dog's going to start barking again. So it's the recap time. We're going to start going through every scene of this episode. My notes are all over the place a little bit, so we're going to be whacking here, wacky a little bit all over the points. maybe a little off point. Sorry, I'm just looking at the final score of the sports ball game with the Boston Leprechauns, and I'm happy with that conclusion, and I can continue on with the podcast. Yes, I have to lean into the fact that my show is half a Wayne's World anyway, so I need the headbanging part at some point in time, just to kick it into. Okay. It was all a dream. Yeah, exactly. If it's all the dream, all in someone's snow globe, something like that, we're not going to get an ending like that. We're not going to get it. We're going to get some conclusive ending to the Gene arc. And we're going to figure out exactly what happened to Kim. And we're going to see some explosive way Mike is going to take down Lalo for Gus. And it's going to be big. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting to watch. Thank you, Jack Me Off. It's because usually I get up and jump around and run, so I had to bring the energy within a little bit more that time. It's time for some motherfucking recap. So let's get into this. So we open up in this episode. Wait, let me get into this a little bit. Make sure. Do we have audio? We do. Do we have audio? Right? We do. Okay. We open up in this episode. You playing? Okay. We open up and the sewer opens up, and this is just such a cool little open here as the sewer opens up. And I'm telling you, I'm watching this in the moment. I'm like, oh, is the fucking Ninja Turtle coming up? What's going on? Am I watching the right thing? Tristan says, I think Jimmy kills Lalo. That would be really an interesting way to have Lalo go out, and kind of unexpected as well. And a good way of having Jimmy really go to that next level. Area code 331 says, last time in their apartment, remember how Jimmy begged Lalo to let Kim live? Now Kim is begging Howard to leave. Same room. Frickin' crazy. Super frickin' crazy. All the shit that's been seen in that apartment. And just 5 minutes ago, they were having sex because their plan that led to this, and they were got off on it, and this ultimately led to Howard's death. It's a thriller. Thriller. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was a little bit of a headbanger's ball up there. So sorry about that, guys. Cowabunga, dudes. Okay, so we open up this beginning. I love how Lalo puts on the flip-flops here in this scene. Someone comes out. He goes to the car, wipes his hands, puts on flip-flops. He is that cool. He's wearing the flip-flops. He drives out over there, goes to a place to use the shower. He goes to a rest stop shower, which is fucking disgusting, but he did it anyways. He's Lalo Salamanca. He can do what the fuck he wants. He gets back in there. He sets his egg timer, takes what seems to be a 2-second nap, but obviously it's a longer nap than that. It's funny how naps do feel like that sometimes. When you blink your eyes, you wake right back up. We get a full-on look of him. The bell rings. He's up. And then we get a shot of him getting back into the manhole cover underneath as dark music comes in and he slithers underground like a snake. We follow him through the sewers as he heads to his hideaway. He has some snacks and he looks around. He looks out from the front of the sewers, just like, again, like the Ninja Turtles. Like he's looking out. I think this is a shot in the Ninja Turtle movie where he's looking from the sewer. Excuse me. Pizza dude's got 30 seconds. That sort of shit. But he takes a shower in he took a shower in the rest stop, which is gross. It was a very clean rest stop shower. Am I Weird Al Yankovic? I could possibly be Weird Al's son. That's still yet to be determined. Do I have that picture with me? I might. So sorry for the quick stall because I'm a friggin' idiot right here. Where is it? I probably have it. I actually got to meet Weird Al Yankovic at one point in time. True story. I met him. I walked up to him and I looked at him again. I looked him up and down. And I said to him, "Dad?" And he looked right back at me. He smiled at me and he said, "Maybe." And then, funny enough, just to connect this to what we're talking about, I asked him if I could cook meth on his trailer because I knew he was a big Breaking Bad fan, and he said we've often talked about that. I don't have the picture on my computer right now, but I'll try to get it for some point. I do have a picture of me with Weird Al Yankovic. That's pretty cute. I'll try to get it on the screen by the end of the show, but yes, Weird Al very much could be my father. It's a possibility. Rest in peace. Oh shit, guys, we better watch it. We better tread lightly in the live chat because Heisenberg has just entered the chat, and even he's saying rest in peace. Rest in peace, Howard. Lalo floated to the room like he was Nosferatu. He really did. He sketched his way in there, slid all around. Sorry guys, I thought I had the picture on here, but yeah, it's always been a joke of some sort that I looked like Mr. Weird Al. But wow, again, I'm still losing my mind with how amazing this particular episode was of this show. Sorry, as you could almost always tell when I'm stalling for time. I'm like, oh, excuse me, let me stall for some time right now. As Lalo is going through, we got another text message from 331. Aside from the Big Bang, what was your favorite moment in this episode? I love the horror expression on Jimmy and Kim when Lalo walks in. Must rewatch. Amazing acting. I like the scene where Howard loses his shit in the office. And then I like Howard a lot in this episode. And I also really like Howard confronting them right before that in this moment. Like saying to them, why me? The why me speech. I thought that was one of the best acting he's done on the show so far. And it really worked. And so I think in general, my favorite thing, and it's good that they gave him an episode like this. My favorite stuff in this episode was all the Howard stuff. They just gave him so much interesting stuff to do. I also thought Gus in his small moment was very interesting. We'll get to Gus later, but his reaction and just I know I'm right, and just to give him those looks like, yeah, you don't know what's going on. You can't say that I'm okay. I'm gonna be really fucked. I'm gonna be really fucked here. I was like, where's the Better Call Saul music coming from? And oh man, sorry everyone. I'm multitasking, and now of course I'm like, I gotta do something. I gotta do it. I gotta do one thing. So yeah, there you go. There's me and Weird Al Yankovic. Yes, he very much could be my dad. Okay, there we go. Done. I feel better now. My brain crossed that off the list. Okay, and what pathetic cowards were they planning to torture this dude? And they planned to torture this dude for weeks and weeks and confront them for 1 minute, and then they were basically like, they wouldn't even let him have his day. They're just like, now it's time for you to leave. They wouldn't even have a drink with him. Like that's the asshole move. Like he came over there, he admitted he had lost and offered them a drink and just wanted to know why. And they're like, could you leave, please? We don't want to be reminded of what we did to you for no reason. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, so let's listen to a little bit of this as we get the beginning. We get the beginning of this episode.
Must love. That's try.
Get in. We need to reshoot. $300 for 90 minutes. Come on.
I have a break in an hour.
No, you're not hearing me. $400 if you get in the car right now. And I will set your boss straight if he gives you any grief. I will sue his ass for wrongful termination and age discrimination if he fires you. Hey, come here.
He should. Weird Al should. I'll settle for like a song on his next album. That would do it for me.
Come here. How often do we get a chance to use our craft and shine, huh? To really slide inside the skin of...
I love how we get a little Mr. Show reunion with these two, which is really awesome. No, it's very hard, and as Big J was saying, like this episode makes you hate Kim, and the way that Kim's attitude about it all is even more callous than Jimmy, and Jimmy's pretty damn callous.
I don't want to lose you through the windshield.
Dude, the actors are so into this. These two, and they were talking about on the Insiders podcast, that actor that is in that scene is a guy that was on Mr. Show, and he had auditioned for several parts throughout the years on Better Call Saul, and he finally got this part in this role, and it's really awesome to kind of see a little Mr. Show business. And as I said, this whole beginning section, when we get a continuation from the last episode with all the crew, I like how we get a little bit of a intro section here with all the members of the crew and having to go into their normal lives and have them tugged away. Again, this is the Jimmy feeling more like the Saul Goodman that we saw in Breaking Bad in these scenes to me. And they're done really tastefully well and hilarious. I've said it before, this show does humor really well, and it doesn't always lean into it. But when you have him, you have Bob Odenkirk, you get away with doing this kind of amazing humor all the time. So low key it was. She was pretending like she was doing this to get money for her pro bono work. And at the last minute, she had that interview that turned around and proved it was never about that. Kim is a snake.
Top of the line, creme de la creme.
So we get this whole scene right here in the
zoom, but also has interchangeable XL lens capability, image stabilization built in.
Again, all this stuff is very sort of inside baseball kind of shit, making fun of people that they know that are like this. That if you go to video school or you go to film school, there's gatekeepers of the equipment. Yeah, you can have the equipment, but that's for the creative forces. You don't get to do that. This is what you get to use for Aunt Sally's bar mitzvah.
Is for you. 340 lines of so-called resolution suitable for recording your sister's second wedding, local community board meetings, or porn, mid-out-plot.
Unbelievably well said, Soft Batch. The Tarantino-esque way that the shot revolves around them conveys that feeling of being hectic as they're setting it up and they're building this guy and putting him together and building him up for their next shot is all the hectic energy that they put into it. The way Kim comes in with her cool calculating approach to it all too. The way it all comes together here is just really amazing. We go back to the kid. He craps on stuff. We go to Saul. They're haggling on price, $500. The best. The other workers dressed like a Dark Crystal person. And then other dude cameraman shows up. The team's back together. Kim shows up. Jimmy says, thank God, as she comes in. And the tone so far in this episode is just fun. It's disarmingly fun in this episode. And Jimmy says, you can still make your meeting. And she says, I'm where I have to be. Again, Kim has another chance to get out here, and she does not take it. And thank you, everyone, for checking this out tonight. I really do appreciate it. Again, we have over 100 people here tonight. We do appreciate all the love you guys are showing us this season. As I said, if you haven't already, hit that like button and share the video out so we can get even more folks in here tonight. I think he was, drugging the photos. So Jimmy says you can still. Then we get the spinning shot as he gets up with the cast, and Kim is wrapping the tape around him, and it's just fun. Honestly, this stuff is just fun, and that's what someone said this before. I think it was the person that mentioned. I'm sorry if I'm not giving credit, but
my light meter in here. It's in there.
Hello, Lenny. Can I have your left arm?
Of course. What?
Your character has a broken arm now.
Not here. Not here.
The plot thickens. This changes everything.
Nothing changes.
Grab my indies.
I grabbed everything.
Well, I must have a new backstory.
Can you just hold your arm still, though?
I don't see him.
Check the side pocket.
Think of the broken arm as symbolic.
I see symbolic.
Go with the plus
Try
X.
not to talk, Lenny.
Your character motivation remains exactly the same.
I love all this inside baseball acting stuff. But what this show does better than almost any show I've ever seen in my fucking life, it's mixing that comedy with this horrifying deep drama that exists in The Parent Show. Breaking Bad was a funny show and could be funny, but it's not as intentionally hilarious as this show can be sometimes. And that's because you have Bob Odenkirk as your star, and you can do this Mr. Show kind of stuff like you're doing with these guys.
Almost there. Keep it steady.
Keep it steady. Morning light.
And I feel like
On the foliage.
I feel like there's a little dig at the Game of Thrones conclusion here, where we got something in the shot. We got a coffee cup in the shot. It wasn't a coffee cup, but
If you can't see it, you have to turn so you can see it.
Kim directing and they can't hear her. It's just like little things like that just make me laugh on this show. It's little things like that are just very theater film school geeky kind of shit that you can just tell what kind of love that this show has for that type of stuff. I'm totally afraid to rewatch this whole season. Like the Nacho episode and this episode are horrifying in different ways. This changes everything. Great line. That's what they would have happened if Howard didn't say anything to the judge. Yeah, the cameraman noticed they were doping the photos. He did, and we'll get to that in a second. But in the dark room.
No, more like flat. You know, to the camera.
Okay, yep.
But not too obvious.
Got it, go. Shoes in the shot.
Oh, shoes. It's not coffee cup. It was shoes. I feel like that's a Game of Thrones dig because of the coffee cup and the shot in the final season. I'm creating that because of my anger at the Game of Thrones final season. But, I think again, listening to the writer's room and listening to the Insiders podcast with them, I mean, they rag on other shows without saying the shows they're talking about. Like, they'll say things like, we don't want to end this show and have people disappointed like some other shows. I'm paraphrasing, but they do say shit like that. Or we want to create mystery without confusion. We don't want to just confuse people like some other shows. Oh, you're talking about Lost and Game of Thrones, aren't you? You know, aren't you? We know what you're talking about. You're talking about The Walking Dead now, aren't you? We don't want to go on past our welcome date. You know, our best due date. Yeah, we know what you're talking about. I see you. I know I started a rewatch, but I just couldn't do it episode 3. I looked at the guy letting the trolley just roll into the car's parking lot. I love their little details. I'll never look at Marco. Great to see Marco Jones in the live chat. Been a while, buddy, Marco. I'll never look at a candle in the wind in the same way again. I'm just a candle in the wind. There needs to be a song about that, Marco. No, I'm just kidding. Let's go, Brandon. Bridge 11, not Bridge 4. We got Bridge 11. He's up in Bridge by 7 there. Okay, so area code 331 says, thanks for reading these. You rock. And if Jimmy and Kay survive the Lalo meeting, they have to claim that Howard was a suicide. Can they live with that on their conscience, or Mike cleans it up, but he's busy right now? I mean, I think we're going to learn that Kim can live with it on her conscience and Jimmy can't. And that might be something that sets up a rift between them to a certain extent. I think we are going to see a play out of more of what Mike said, where Kim's made of sterner stuff. And I think some of that's going to come through seeing this death in front of them. Jimmy has seen shit before, but seeing someone like Howard get his brains blown off in something from his perspective, it's going to test Jimmy in what he's going to need to completely compartmentalize, which leads him down to this road that ultimately ends to the sad conclusion in the Gene timeline. But I don't think Jimmy handles this as well as Kim does, if that makes sense. How is it AMC is allowed to ruin The Walking Dead and yes, breaking? Because they tried. And I believe Vince and Peter told them to fuck off. Like I believe around season 4 of Breaking Bad, when Breaking Bad was reaching its pinnacle of sort of pushing the meter of entertainment with people. I believe they tried to be like, oh, we can have like 7, 8, 10 seasons of Breaking Bad. And Vince is like, I got 5. Like, how about 7? I got 5. How about, okay, I'll give you 5.5. And that's how we got like the second half of the episodes that they decided to do a few more. They specifically didn't want to go too far and kind of put the hammer down on AMC. I get the feeling AMC's like, you know, they're not going to make you do anything, but they're going to suggest it strongly. And if you just go, yup, then they go, oh, can we do this too? Oh, okay. You want to put this flower down? No big deal. Put the flower down. Oh, you want to move that Star Trek thing out of here? You want to redecorate this whole place? Like, The Walking Dead let AMC dictate a little bit too much. You know, let's make money. Let's turn this into a cash cow. Vince and Peter would never let that happen to their property. They would rather it die than be bastardized in the way that AMC has done to Kirkman's property. So that's my answer to that. Is they stay out of Vince's business. Once Breaking Bad got the critical acclaim that it did, you can't. I think they pretty much stayed out of Mad Men's business too for the same reason. Like once Mad Men started to get the critical acclaim, AMC can't really Walking Dead them, and that's why that show, for even if it's not your favorite, it stayed pretty consistent through most of it and gave you a satisfying conclusion to that series too. Not as satisfying as Breaking Bad to me, but satisfying in the world of Don Draper. We got a good buddy Mandrell in the live chat. Great to see you, buddy. That was very redundant. I'm a little drunk. We got our good buddy. We got our good buddy Mandrell. Kim is going to get pregnant with Lalo's baby, says Rad. Oh, I like where your mind's at, Rad. I think you're taking the two sexiest people on the show and you're making them make babies. I like where your mind's at. Yeah, they tried to mess with Mad Men. Yeah, they did. They tried to mess with Mad Men. They failed to. No, you don't. When you have a creative force that has a vision of what they want to tell, good or bad, and this isn't about whether you love the end of Breaking Bad or you love the end of Mad Men or whatever, those shows did what they wanted to do and didn't necessarily satisfy. AMC would have loved 20 seasons of Don Draper just being the guy in the boardroom that gives you the final answer and delivers, but instead they took Draper down a far different road and went more introspective in that series, which was, a good series if you haven't watched it. But I'm not talking about Mad Men, but I would say in some ways Better Call Saul is in a show that's inspired by both those shows on AMC, is inspired by Breaking Bad, obviously because of the parent show, but in some of the celebrations of scenes or the colors or the mixing tones and stuff, I can see some inspiration coming off Mad Men too, and the way the storytelling is a little bit to a certain extent too, like slower down stories at times. But yeah, anyways, someone's like, no, fuck you, Phil. They're nothing alike. Don't ever say that again. And we got a voicemail from our good buddy Pete's live. Whoa. Music. Shut off music. Pete's live music.
Ooh, this is the Chamberlain. Ooh. Episode Gelfling.
As always, Pete's live music with some funny shit. Soft Batch, thanks for not ignoring the chat. Oh, thank you, Soft Batch. I like to, as much as I know I can talk. This is a lot more fun getting your thoughts in here, everyone in the live chat that's watching. I try to read as much of it as I can. I'm sorry if I do miss it sometimes. That's why I do have the text and the voicemail line up at 781-990-8509. So if you've been typing something in the chat and my goofy eyes that are going blinder every day miss it, feel free to text in and I'll make sure I get to it then. Or you can, if you get real brave, you can always call in and leave a voicemail. So, but thank you, Soft Batch, and this drink is for you. Thank you for keeping me drinking tonight. You super chatters have been extremely generous this evening. I very much appreciate it. Thank you for everyone that has taken the second to give us a donation. Those things are never expected, but help more than you know. Okay, so then we also have Captain next week. Also, the first part of the final season of Stranger Things airs on the 27th as well for people interested in that show. So you got that coming too. The Boys comes in June. Which is also before Better Call Saul too. So we've got a couple of shows for people interested in any of the handful of things I just said, especially The Boys. I'm excited to see where they go. Okay, so Kim calls for action. We get this good scene of setting up all this different action. Then we get to the inside the photo lab, which I love the colors that they use in this here as the photo's being developed. And the dude's like, you can't rush the process. They look at the picture. They said this is going to be perfect. It doesn't have to look exact, just enough. They kind of hide what exactly is happening to a certain extent all the pictures. We don't get to see a full-on view of them, so we get a little cloak and dagger with it, but it works. Jimmy grabs the pictures and runs really fast to go hand them to the private investigator, who stops quickly on his way to a meeting with Howard. Back in the boardroom in the next scene. I mean, there's not much to say. Like, I do want to point out the music that was talked about earlier. Very interesting use of soundtrack. Gives you makes this all so fun. You know, like, gives everything a sense of joy to it, and mystery and darkness that it's leading to something dark. I really like the music choice in this episode, and it adds to so much of it. Rolling up another blunt for Howard. I am definitely gonna light one and take another sip of something when we get to that a little bit later. 20-point victory. I am happy. Thank you, Jackie C, for being an amazing mod tonight. Irene equals the MVP. She was amazing in this scene. We're going to get to her in a second here, which will be really fun. Irene was incredible. Area code 331. Great thoughts on the conscious thing. Here's one more. I think the execution of Howard remind Jimmy of his trauma from the Mexican shootout. Remember, the sloppy blender was traumatizing when it happened in their apartment. Imagine this. Poor Jimmy. And yeah, Jimmy is going to deal with this a lot more difficult. I wonder what the staff at Casa Tranquil thinks of the Salamancas. Probably thinks Hector is a sweet, sweet man. I just want to know how Hector gets out of there and gets living with Tuco. Is the moment Tuco gets out of prison, he's going to come there, I'm getting my uncle out of here. But yeah, I was so tense in this board meeting too, as we go with Howard in his little analness, setting up the board meeting. As he sets this up, and we get into him.
Hamlin, I was told I should restock the fridge before the
this
meeting.
Guy.
No worries.
His little meeting with this guy. Let's listen to some of this stuff, because this is fun.
Give you a hand.
Thank you.
Whoops, wrong episode.
You're Gary?
Gary Anderson.
Of course. Gary. What happens when you drop or shake a can of soda?
Okay, I meant to say this at the beginning, but does this work? Does anyone know that if this soda trick works? Because this could be a game changer for me.
Let me show you a little trick.
Does this shit work? Forget Howard's death tea.
Something about the centrifugal force.
I need to know if the centrifugal force thing with the soda can thing actually fucking works. Anyone ever done this?
Don't want our clients to get a surprise.
Does it work for Bear?
That works.
No, this is making me want to drink a fucking soda. This man right here, the greatest man of all time.
Gotta have it.
Chaka.
Anytime he opened a can, almost unconsciously. I asked him about it once. Just his way of being prepared for anything. Accidental or otherwise.
I'm sorry, I'm kind of new here. I have to ask, who is that?
Jeffrey Townsend.
The M.
T-Rex says, tap the lid and it works. Jeffrey Townsend, try it live on your show right now, Phil. I do have a can of ginger ale in the other room. I could try it. We could do science here on the show. And I have a couple of water seltzers. Howard also is realizing that, talking about how
all the parties are here.
Chuck being considered the best legal mind of all time is not worth it necessarily. There's other more important things, as we know he's dealing with a divorce. We get more of this information as Howard goes into the room to meet with the private investigator, and this is where he starts to get drugged.
Fresh out of the bath.
Literally.
What am I looking at?
Took those about 7 this morning. Miguel sat on a bench in Trumbull Park. Then the subject you see there passed by and collected a package from Miguel, tucked it in his sling. Didn't realize what it was until I saw the photos up close.
We should do the Mythbusters thing right now.
Oh my God. Same envelope. And the man with the mustache?
Science is cool, but I know my calculus. We got the one and only Bridge 4 in the live chat.
I know it drives a silver Miata, and I got a partial.
If you haven't already, and make sure you subscribe to Bridge 4, one of the best people out there covering tons of awesome shows, and one part of my podcasting team with Tony Teflon called The Usual Suspects. Bridge 4 is the best and a really awesome guy, one of the best guys I know. So make sure you subscribe to Bridge 4 and show him some love. Most likely he's covering one show you were watching and liking. Oh, here we go, Irene.
Oh, and garlic helps too.
That sounds delicious. I really hope I get a chance to try.
Irene, how are you, my dear?
I'm very good, Mr. Hamlin.
Now, you know to call me Howard. And you remember Julie, of course?
Yes.
I was just telling Irene she doesn't have to do or say anything, and there's nothing to be nervous about.
Oh, Cliff is absolutely right. Julie, can you pour Irene a hot cup of chamomile tea, a touch of honey? That's how you like it, right?
Yes,
Oh, Howard's such an annoying douche.
Irene,
But again,
let me walk you
he's
through what's
our
going on.
annoying douche. You know, he such an annoying douche, but our lovable annoying douche.
Very polite and professional.
It's gonna go
And to make sure
okay.
it stays polite and professional.
It's
an
so
independent.
it's like so hard to hear this stuff. Usually I go through the recap, you know, and I'm picking it apart. Right now, this is all like bullshit. Howard's dead. Howard's so fucking dead. This is just all foreplay. It makes excuse me, sorry about that. Excuse me. It makes watching this back more difficult. Right away, like I'm watching this back already. I'm like, this is too soon. This is too soon. I'm too traumatized from Howard's death to watch him in another scene right now again. I'm being triggered and I'm feeling upset. I wonder how many people are trying the can thing after watching the show tonight. Yeah, it's true. I feel like I have to. I feel like I'm gonna play some audio here and I'll be right back. I gotta try this.
Oh, I'd have to say 1.5 to 2
I'll be right
years minimum.
Of course, you're the class representative, and if you hear a deal of your
Oh,
liking
no,
today,
no. I am not going to do anything that you don't tell me to do.
well, we will advise you to the best of our ability. I can assure you of that.
All the parties are here, and Aaron has the out-of-state reps dialed in on the Polycom.
Fantastic. And Judge Casimiro?
In the waiting area, ready to come in once we're all assembled.
Excellent. Well, this is it then. We'll freshen this up for you in the conference room.
Yes, we will. Freshen that shit up for her. Better not be sitting on my pillow, dog.
Now,
Okay, we got a can.
Let's get you down there in style.
It's rolling on the ground.
And walking.
It's rolling. It's on the
I
ground.
feel better making all of this as easy for
Okay,
you
let me
as
pick
possible.
it up. Okay, we've got it. So put it down. I'm
Thank you for indulging
centrifugal
me,
forcing it
Now, is there anything
around
else
in
to make you
circles.
comfortable? Are you hot?
No, I'm very comfortable.
Let's see. She's very comfortable as he's starting to get coked up now. He's starting to feel the cokey energy. So let's see. I'm shaking it around. I'm spinning it around. Tap on it. Open it. Oh, it wants to. It's bubbling a little bit, but no, it did not bubble up over. It did not. It actually worked. It worked. Maybe I didn't shake it up a little bit. Maybe I didn't shake it up too much. But it did roll across the ground. So I don't know, maybe because it's a seltzer. It definitely it fizzled and almost came up, but it didn't actually come out of the can. So like, I don't know. I'd have to try that 10 or so times to see if it works every time. But it did work that time for me. Could there be a chance where Howard is not dead? He actually had a body. No, Ben. Ben, I like where your head's thinking because I want Howard to be alive too. But I don't think so. I don't think so. Check TikTok tomorrow. I bet there'll be hundreds of people spinning the damn bottle thing. Did I shake it hard enough? Maybe not. I dropped it on the ground. I didn't shake it. I dropped it on the ground, then it rolled down the floor. I tried to recreate what we saw in the show. I didn't shake it. I dropped it and it rolled. So, just to be fair on what I actually did. So, area code 646 says, what did you think the teaser of the next episode? It was black and white, which typically signals a Gene scene, but the closed caption said Jimmy. Also, pretty sure the scene takes place in Kim and Jimmy's apartment. Do you think Jimmy and Gene go back to the apartment in one of the final 6 episodes? I wouldn't be surprised. It would be reminiscent of Walter going back to the scenes of the old area, but I still don't think we're going to see Gene until much later in the season. So I think it's probably just the use of black and white in that moment for whatever purposes that they want.
Looks like our mediator has arrived, so we'll get started. Got you right there at the head of the table. Is there anything I can get you?
I'm absolutely fine. Thank you. I am a
Bridge 4, get your head out of the gutter.
notepad person. All I need.
Oh, and
I know we're all anxious to get things
and
started.
then almost right away in this scene, as the guy comes in, okay, let's catch up to where we're at right now in the scene. So we're in the mediation moment. Kim and Jimmy slipped their way into the meeting, or listening in on things. Howard has gotten the pictures of the judge. He doesn't know who he is yet. He's just seen his picture. And this guy walks into the mediation, and Howard has been drugged with a heavy caffeine drug to give him a feeling and the appearance that he might be coked up, where other people in the meeting right now think that he's a cokehead because they previously set this up in a previous episode to make him look like he crashed his car in a cocaine incident. So all of this is coming together to make Howard look like he's unhinged and having a chicanery-like moment, as Chuck did in I forget the name of the episode. Season 4 finale, was it? I believe, maybe. Season 3 finale, I believe. I'm sorry. The episode where Chuck was on the stand and freaked out. So we're having sort of a recreation of that moment where everyone's looking at Howard like he's a fucking idiot. And then the moment that this guy walks in the office, Howard is convinced that he's on the take and sets up this amazing, incredible scene. Let's listen to a lot of this, because not just do I want to do some hippie activities right now, I just want to hear this scene again because it's fucking hilarious.
And I am your mediator for these proceedings. Now, I'm happy to be here, but at the end, hopefully all of you in the room and those listening from various locations won't be happy with me. And why do I say that? Because the best solutions mean compromise. It's compromise from both sides. That's my goal. But as my wife always says, compromising doesn't mean I'm right and she's wrong. So let us move forward with the...
Wait, I have to pause this for the most important question that we got. Does Howard have a him in indigo colored coffin? I hope so, Jeffrey Townsend. Too soon. Play the headbanging music with a soda in each can. That'll be a true fucking test.
Howard?
Julianne, I was not as either. I was not expecting this to go exactly this way, and it really paid off in a fun way for me.
I'm sorry.
And this was also an interesting reunion of many characters coming together again. Like all the legal teams, all the legal forces from the first half of the show being together in one place. And Irene.
That you be more specific.
Well, our mediator here keeps using the word compromise when he, in fact, is compromised.
Ooh.
I beg your pardon?
The smile on Jimmy and Kim's face in this moment. They're getting turned on. They're getting hot and bothered by this whole situation.
You walked across Trumbull Park in town.
Julianne says, whatever is expected to happen in this board meeting, this was not the one.
This morning.
I didn't. I
Ben
got
says,
to Albuquerque early.
Ben says, we all knew Howard was going to be buried under that super lab.
You sure?
Howard, if the judge says...
Oh, the episode is actually called Chicanery. The final was the lantern. Thank you, Bacall. McElroy.
I stopped at a gas station.
Whoa.
I went by a liquor store and bought a...
Bacall McElroy. That is a fucking amazing name. And is that the character in that picture? Is that like self-made little good fucking artwork there? I dig that character. Totally despicable. Unbelievable despicable, the way that they're like literally getting off on this man destroying their career in front of them for no apparent gain for themselves. They spell it out. Jimmy's actually losing money by doing this.
Gift. I had a lunch salad and a very nice latte from the Flying Star in Manal. I read Barron's, then came here.
So you weren't in town to visit our mutual acquaintance, James Morgan McGill. Or maybe you know him as Saul Goodman.
Saul Goodman.
I don't know anyone by either of those names.
Okay. You want to go that way? Julie, go to my desk, please. There's an envelope with photos. Bring it to me quickly.
Okay, Howard.
Can we have a sidebar?
I'm sorry.
No sidebar.
Receiving what I estimate to be a $20,000 payoff this morning in the park.
I'm sorry. This is just... You recommended...
Clearer.
Okay, so we fast forward a little bit. The pictures are here. I love how they're listening together. They're listening on audio like we're listening back right now to all of this. And they look at the pictures, and the pictures are altered to Jimmy giving someone a frisbee. And it's just hilarious because in this moment, it's just Jimmy literally giving Howard the finger. Like he knows right there in this moment that he has been got.
Howard? No, Jimmy. He snuck in.
And he has a freak out. His eyes look like he's all coked up.
Hamlin, are you all right? Your eyes.
I am fine.
No, you're not.
This is all something that will be sorted out. I am confident.
I think a recess is in order.
Again, very Chuck-like the way to get him off the
Nobody
stand.
move. Evidence has been tampered with.
Howard, please.
Howard having this freak out.
Is this how these usually go?
Irene with a drop right there, drop of the scene, killing it.
To take me down.
You are blowing this. You need to take a long, deep breath and apologize to everyone for what you
Of
just
course.
did.
I'll call my PI. He has the negatives.
Listen to me.
No. The original photos will prove everything. Howard, just wait. You'll see.
Okay, question for everyone at this point. Do you feel bad for Howard in this moment? I know ultimately we know he ends up fucking dead here at the end of this episode.
This isn't...
But in this moment right here, as the plan's coming through, was your instinct to feel bad, especially watching him run up these stairs in this moment? I personally was feeling so bad for him in this moment. Poor Nihal says, poor Jimmy and Kim are going to feel guilty over Howard's death. They were responsible, totally responsible. And as I was saying earlier, I think Jimmy will feel really responsible. I think we're all going to be super surprised through the next half how little this is going to affect Kim in the end. I think she's going to be more worried about the fact that Jimmy's going to be pissed at her about the Lalo situation and worrying about what Lalo might do to Jimmy and connected in the situation. And the Howard is like, yeah, it happened. We got to deal with it. Like, I think she's just going to kind of move on from this maybe a little bit, but I'll say it a few more times tonight just because it got said twice in different times. One, when Mike said last season, Kim is in the game. And secondly, that she's made of sterner stuff than Jimmy. So I think we're going to see that play out where Jimmy's freaking out about this and Kim thinks more calmly about this whole situation. Fudiance, yes, I feel bad for him. Jack Me Off says I felt so bad for him. Soft Batch says there was such a glaring difference in the way that Kim and John were reacting to Howard to take down compared to when they took down Chuck. Completely different. And Jimmy, I mean. Howard had several chances to leave. Kim pleaded for him to leave. This gives Jimmy the cojones to get rid of Kim. Great to see Mary Andrews in the live chat. Jeffrey says, I hate Howard. Nothing worse than a likable douche. Truth talk right there. He is a likable douche.
If everyone could just stay on the line, that would be preferable. The situation here is fluid, and we will update you as soon as possible.
Thank you. So, and this is and basically we don't have to listen to all of this. Basically, they decide to go. We're not going to go to mediation. We're going to offer you this. You guys are in a fucked up position now, so we're going to force you to close this deal right now. So that's basically the thing gets finished off where Cliff decides to close the deal. Howard understands, but is like, this is fucked up shit. So then we go.
Great. If you can all scooch in just a little more.
So then we go to Lalo Underground again, where he sees the cockroach and stuff. And let's get. I'm going to get into this. I got it paused on the last moment. You are very welcome. So we go back in the boardroom meeting. Yada 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 yada. We get a history of leek soup with Cliff Main, and they prep the witness. We already talked about that. Howard calls the PI. Afterwards, the doctor's on his way. Howard is not crazy. off to Lalo vlogging, sending a message to Don Eladio about what happened to Casper. Casper gave up a fight, but gave up the laundry in the lab location. He talks about how Gus Fring is trying to make the biggest lab of all time, and that he's going to kill everyone in the lab, and then let him and Bosa figure it out after the fact. Then we get Lalo playing the Spanish game again, calling the nursing home to try to talk to Hector, and he realizes halfway through waiting on hold for the first call that Gus is probably smart enough to be hacking and listening into the phone calls. So he starts screaming, "We're really awesome. Goddamn smart chicken man. So he says some specific things to Lalo. Lalo says to Hector that plan B's not working. We're going to stick to plan A, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to go out, do something. I'm going to stick to plan A, which seems like it's going to be a direct attack. That seems to be the vibe that he was getting, but obviously he's trying to throw Gus off balance a little bit to a certain extent. He watches Gus and his crew come out. He calls Mike, which is really cool. Lalo watches the roach walk by, and he gets a thought. As someone pointed out in the live chat, I didn't think about this, but this is, again, why I love doing this live with all of you guys, sharing your thoughts right away, because everyone's going to point things out that I'm not going to quite pick up in the moment. I didn't pick up the whole thing of with the roach meaning Saul, like Saul's the roach. He gets the idea, I should go see the lawyer. But it's exactly what happened. He saw the cockroach and he thought about Saul. And he's like, I gotta go see my lawyer. And he heads down the tunnel. So we go back to the Chicken Man at the photo op, and it makes it seem like he's in danger in that moment, but he's not. So then we get to our final scene in the episode. There's a few other moments here and there, but we get to our final scene in the episode. I want to play most of this because I think we should give Howard some love on his way out. He shows up at Kim and Jimmy's house to reward them or to congratulate them on besting him. So there's about 5 minutes left in the episode when this happens, when this part happens. Jim and Kimmy have sex and get off on it all.
You won.
And then he comes. He
Won?
talks to them. You won.
What did I win?
I get it. Of course, you both have to play it this way. You're both so very good at it.
Oh, wait. Before we go any
late,
further,
Howard.
someone in the live chat has sent me this. Thank you so much, Jack Me Off. Sent me a little clip from the script, the actual Better Call Saul script. And Hector's line in the script says, ding, ding, the ding, ding, ding. Ding, 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 ding. Wow. Thank you for that insight into the writer. Thank you for sending that to us, Jack Me Off. First the super chat, then now this. You're an amazing patron of the show. Okay, let's listen more of this.
That's what this is about?
I was wondering that too.
Is Howard there to taunt them? I think he's there to taunt them, but I think genuinely my take on Howard being there is he really wants to know the answer to that question. You bested me. I get it. But why? Why'd you do this? Why? Like that's keeping him up after the situation. He's like, okay, I accept this happened. I'll get my shit back together to a certain extent. Big deal. But why did you guys do this? And I think he's there to shame them, there to talk shit to a small extent. But I think he's there for answers. It's like when someone fucks you over, and you kind of just want to look them in the face and say why. I had a friend I knew when I was younger that really screwed over her confidence and fucked up a bunch of shit. I don't have to get into what exactly he did or that whole situation. But after it all happened, I didn't want some of the stuff back. I mean, I did, but I knew that wasn't going to happen. I didn't want that. I just wanted to turn to him and be like, dude, why'd you steal my trumpet? Why'd you do that? What's the point? What was the reasoning? Did you need money? What was happening there? Sometimes you just want to face off with the person that fucked you over and just ask them the question of I know I can't get anything out of this, but tell me why. Look me in the face and own up to the reason why you did the thing. And I think Howard is a little old fashioned in that way. He's trying to understand, in his mind, he's the good guy here. He's that likable douche. He's a good guy.
what it's all about. I mean, what do you tell yourselves? What justification makes it okay? Howard's such an asshole, he deserves it?
We're good.
So?
They won't even drink with him.
What is it?
Yes.
I sided with Chuck too often. I took away your office, put you in doc review. All of the above. Howard's daddy helped him get to the top, but you both had to struggle. Howie has so much, and we have so little. Let's take him down a peg or two.
Such a good monologue, though.
What allows you to do this to me? Because this isn't just a prank. No. This goes beyond throwing bowling balls on my car. This took planning, coordination. I mean, how many weeks?
Years. This
was
took
it
years.
months?
No, years.
It couldn't have been easy. So tell me, why? Why go through this elaborate plot just to burn me to the ground?
Burn you to the ground. Howard, come on.
Okay, Jimmy finally takes a little bit of responsibility. Oh, we got Bernie, the blunt Bernie L in the live chat. Great to see Bernie. Also got the amazing, the wonderful AK in the live chat. Great to see AK as well, popping in to say hi to us tonight. Excuse me. They look like two children being told off by an adult, the only adult in their room. They did all of that and can't even stand the heat of just being confronted. Exactly. Bacall McElroy. I have to say your whole name when I say your name because it's fucking awesome. But yes, and that's the point. And to me, those are the scummiest fucking people in the world. People when they screw you over and they've bested you and you're not trying to get anything from them other than just answer questions. It happens with people that cheat too. And they just won't answer the questions about it and they won't talk about it. They just don't want to be faced with the shit that they did. And when people cheat or steal something from you and they get busted with doing it, people get very it's the shit I did when I was a little kid. Okay. When I was a little kid and I was around the ages of 6 to I was older than 6. I was in 5th grade. However old you are in 5th grade, I used to call 900 numbers. And before you go, oh, Phil, what are 900 numbers? 900 numbers were pay numbers that you call on regular phones and that you'd have to pay like $1.99 a minute to talk on the phone. I was so uncool that I wasn't calling the sex ones. No. I'd call the Freddy Krueger hotline. I'd call the Family Feud hotline. I'd call all the wrestling 976 lines and listen to Hulk Hogan and Randy Macho Man Savage and Roddy Piper talk shit to me on the phone for $1.99 a minute. In some of them, you'd have to record your voice before you did it. Do you have your parents' permission? Get your parents' permission. And I do this thing with my voice, I am giving the parents permission. And again, I'm in 5th grade. Eventually, we got the phone bill, and it was a fucking $1,000 fucking phone bill in 1980 something, and it was fucking ridiculous. And I was in fucking crazy trouble, and I was like, I didn't do it. We called the phone company. The phone company played the recording of my voice going, pretending to be Philip's okay to talk on these lines, whatever I said, and they're playing it for me, and I'm like, still not me, because I was 5th grade. And that's what Jim and Kimmy are doing here. They're like fucking 5th graders. Funny sides part to that story. The Nightmare on Elm Street line was a trivia line where you have to answer questions about the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. And I answered all the questions correct, and I actually won. And they sent me a big box set of all the Nightmare on Elm Street movies and a CD and of the music and trading cards and stuff. Then all of a sudden, my mother at the time was proud of me. She's like, hey, he won at a contest. He's so smart. And then she ended up talking her way. She used her own brand of chicanery to talk the phone bill down from $1,000 to $150 because they didn't technically have my permission. So it was whatever. But my whole point was, in the moment, you're facing off that stuff. It's what children do. They lie even with facts in front of them. Just own up to it. They think Howard's bugged here? No, they're just being dicks about it. They're just like, come on, Howard, just get the fuck out of it. You don't want to deal with hearing what the shit we did. Bernie says they tortured Howard. He deserved it. It's been so long since we've seen what a bastard he really is. But Kim and Jimmy gotta realize no one in their lives are safe with dealing with the cartels. 100%. T says, call me now. Call 1-900 right now. One question. Does Howard's wife get the Namaste car? She better. God damn it. Oh no, 900 numbers and 976 numbers as well. Howard should have been a little nice throughout his life. It wouldn't have come down to this. I can't believe no one is talking about the way Erin's tits bounce when she stood to attention to the judge. Fucking epic, says Dave. Davey, I think that Slippin' Jimmy was taped once, so I would not say anything in front of Howard. Good point, Turtlefish. Good point. Like I'm glad you mentioned that, and I said it in joking passing because it's probably true. He doesn't know what Howard's capable of in this moment. He's after this whole win, he's not going to fall for something. I'm not going to fall for the whole banana in the tailpipe. After Chuck recorded, he can't risk it. Very fair point.
You'll be fine. You always land on your feet.
Yeah, sure. The Sandpiper settlement, HHM share will be substantial. Absolutely.
It did. My mother was really good at. My mother was a Slippin' Jimmy. That's a different podcast altogether. But my mother was 100,000,000% a Slippin' Jimmy, and she scammed her way out of the $1,000 bill to $150 because of not getting my permission, and you know, maybe that wasn't him. Maybe someone hacked into our phone. You know, like maybe there's some crossover. Like she was a shit talker. She was a Slippin' Jimmy.
Absolutely. Even though I humiliated myself, and my clients and peers will whisper that Howard Hamlin's a drug addict. You're right. I've worked my way through worse. Debt, depression, my marriage falling apart.
Okay, at this point right now, I'm thinking Howard's getting in his punches here. He is. He's going to walk out of here. He's going to leave them on some sort of cliffhanger. Like, everyone's going to find out what you did here, you know, or something, you know, some sort of, you've beaten me. You guys are truly sick fucks. And then we're left on a cliffhanger with Lalo getting ready to walk into Gus's lab, you know, or something like. I thought in my mind that's where this episode was ending, and I was satisfied with a really good episode of Better Call Saul. You know, I was like, okay, this episode gave me what I wanted. I understood that they weren't going for a mid-season finale here when they first wrote this episode, and this was supposed to just be another week's episode. The Howard plan coming through, success, really good dialogue, really good speech here, really good acting interaction, great Lalo stuff, and I thought we were going to get one more. I was pretty sure we were going to get one more Lalo scene before the end of the episode. I saw the time ticking away a little bit, but it still didn't occur to me in this moment that Lalo was going to show up here, now, right away, in 2 fucking seconds here to fucking kill Howard in a moment. But fuck all. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. Been sleeping in the guest house for the better part of a year.
Oh, poor Howard.
Just one more thing good old Howard has to work through.
Yep, you do. Try treating people.
Land on my feet.
Try treating people like humans, Howard.
I will be okay. Such an asshole. But you, far from it. You too. You two are soulless.
Like, this whole thing, you two are soulless. Like, this whole speech right here could have been a good enough way for me to have ended the season. Or ended this episode leading into waiting for a few more episodes. Just basically telling them they're trash people. And them embracing it. And their reaction is like, they're such trash people at this point that their reaction to that is, sure, Howard, peace out, dickhead. And then they just laugh about it. And then we see that Howard leaves there with a plan to take them, not to take them down, but to bring light to this, to start to lead down the direction to discredit Kim in the worlds that she's important in, maybe come up with his own thing, learn from this. And maybe this was the end of Howard's sort of stuff. Maybe some shit, you know, like whatever. I just didn't think they were going to go here.
Jimmy, you can't help yourself. Chuck knew it. You were born that way. But you...
Why would Lalo go to Saul when he just wants to get to Gus? Somehow when he saw the cockroach in the sewer, someone else said this and I'm piggybacking on it, he got an idea on how Saul can help him. I don't know how yet. We'll find out very soon. Not very soon. 7 fucking weeks. Someone corrected me in the chat. It's 7 weeks, not 6 weeks. Fucking A. 7 weeks. We'll find out 7 weeks from now. Somehow his plan revolves around Jimmy, and maybe he's going to get Jimmy to go spy on him a little bit, deliver a message, you know, send Jimmy to Gus, at the chicken place, someone that can kind of get close, get in there, and that's how we're going to get our Jimmy and Gus scene. Maybe. I don't know. But it'll end up being a Jimmy and Mike scene. It's a good question.
One of the smartest and most promising human beings I've ever known.
Me too.
And this is the life you choose.
Ooh.
All right, you're too tight to drive. I'm calling you.
But yes, I will land on my feet. I will be okay. But you? Far from it. You too. You two are soulless.
Soulless.
Jimmy, you can't help yourself. Chuck knew it. You were born that way. But you, one of the smartest and most promising human beings I've ever known. And this is the life you choose.
All right, you're too tight to drive. I'm calling you.
Oh, good. Phony compassion. No, very, very believable, but I'm far from done.
Oh, no. You are done, Howard.
And yeah, it's not compassion. And I think it's almost rude. They're like rushing him out of here. They're like, yeah, we're going to call you a cab. Get out of there. We're tired. You haven't even earned your right to shit talk us right now. And, we beat you. Go home. And Howard, just leave.
Sorry, but
leave,
stop this
Howard.
Now. You need to go home.
Leave. Howard, get the fuck out of there. Howard, go.
You're perfect for each other. You have a piece missing. I thought you did it for the money, but now it's so clear. Screw the money. You did it for fun. You get off on it. You're like Leopold and Loeb, two sociopaths.
All right, that's enough.
Oh, you know it's true. You just have the guts to admit it.
Great. Now you need to go.
I'm going to make it clear to everyone because I'm going to dedicate my life to making sure that everybody knows the truth.
Oh, and then right there, you know it right there in that fucking moment. They both
Can't
look.
hide who you really are forever.
They both know it. They see it. I almost thought he was going to shoot him right there, but he didn't.
Howard.
This show is good enough to like bathe in the
Howard,
moment.
You need to leave.
Leave now.
Who are you?
Me? Nobody. I just need to talk to my lawyers.
Lawyer.
right?
He says
You want some
lawyers.
advice?
He says lawyers.
Find
plural.
better lawyers.
Howard, please just turn around.
No. Take your time.
What's this about?
Please just tell us what you want.
Like I said, to talk.
I think I'm in the middle of something.
Poor
There's
Howard.
really no need to.
No, fuck! Fuck! It's not easier. Oh, it's no easier the second time. Oh, shit. Shit. Fuck. Shit. Fuck. Oh my God.
Let's talk.
Oh.
The word is out. I have actual paying clients.
Oh no, sorry everybody. I know not everyone wants to see the previews for next week. Oh my goodness, what an end to the episode. Gives me shivers. It was almost worse the second time, even though I knew it was coming. What an explosive end to an explosive episode in half a season of this show that living up to expectations for me fully. Wow, you guys know, the people that have been watching me for a while, or some of you even the new people that have tuned in here. Am I someone that can't talk and often is at a loss of words? Maybe I repeat myself and I talk in circles a lot, but I often don't feel like I can't breathe talk. Right, seeing that again, watching that in that moment right now, even with all of you and feeling that together again. Oh my goodness. Wow. You could just feel the fear in Howard's voice every moment and the way Lalo, now I'm watching the second time, of course Lalo wasn't going to let him go. The way he says, no, take your time. And the calmness of which he pulls that gun out. And then Howard's panic in his voice as, whoa, I'm in the wrong situation. And the way Kim and Jimmy just fold into each other, knowing exactly what's going to happen. The way that the wind comes in and blows the flame. And this was the, and this is where these guys are, I mean, there's a lot of reasons why these guys are amazing, but this right here was the poster that they released earlier today for this episode. They released like a little preview image for each individual episode. And like, so this isn't like fan made or something. This is released from the show, and they release the fucking candle. Like, now having seen the episode with the glasses of them toasting their victory and seeing that the candle leads to Howard's death. So basically everything that they do is in this image. I mean, the whole thing for the episode is, I mean, obviously we wouldn't know. You wouldn't be able to pick it out from this without the context. But it's interesting and fun that they basically showed you what was going to be the thing in this image that they released earlier today or yesterday or whenever they released this. So it's just a fun little tease on and how important that candle is and ended up being. So I got one more text, but I've still got a little time here. I'm not going to get off right now, not quite yet. Got to catch my breath a little bit and take some more live chat comments, and all collectively take our pulse here before we call this a 7 week hiatus. How the hell is this the final going to beat this final? Is that even fucking possible? The only thing I will say about that is, did you think earlier this season, after the Nacho thing, that we'd be able to top that in this half of the season? Like, there was that was such an incredible high, and they've done it twice in one season. I don't want to be as hyperbolic, like, because I feel like this was one of the most perfect episodes that they've done on the show. I said the same thing about episode 3. Like both those episodes and all the episodes surrounding them too worked perfectly well with the vehicles of having those two peaks in this first half. If you think about this as a 14 episode in a row season, not actually as 2 halves split. Wow, this is like the final season of Breaking Bad, like that, where you're just getting every episode is a bam, bam, bam to a certain extent, or leading up to a big, huge bam. So having had them do 2 amazing things back to back in one half a season, with the Nacho death and the Howard death, I'm confident that they will be able to give me even something greater in this final conclusion, because they're going to give me the conclusion to the final piece in the whole Breaking Bad overall storyline with the Gene thing. They have all that history and energy built up with that. So we're going to see the exciting conclusion of Lalo, unless there's something really crazy that happens and Lalo escapes and is on the run forever somehow, or goes to jail or whatever. But no, Lalo's going to die somehow. Mike or Gus in some big plan, or Jimmy maybe in a fucked up way is going to take him out. We still don't know what Kim's outcome is. But so what we have to conclude here in this final half is the conclusion of Kim's stuff, what happens to Kim, how her storyline wraps up pre-Breaking Bad, how Lalo is taken down eventually, and which at this point, who wants Lalo to lose? I don't want Lalo to lose. He's entertaining. Keep this guy around somehow. No, he'd be great on Breaking Bad. Let's remake Breaking Bad with him on it too. No, he'd be. I'd love to see Walter versus Lalo. That would be an interesting combination. Or Lalo and Walter working together against Gus. And then Gene stuff. And I think the Gene stuff has so much energy for me built around it that's the thing I'm the most invested in this final season, more than I'd be invested in Kim and Jimmy's scheme in this. But just the way that he did it was so unbelievably well delivered from a television entertainment standpoint. They hit all the buttons, and as Big J was saying earlier with last episode, rewatching it, not in a waiting for a week for and watching it, got better for him. And the last 2 episodes get better with this episode and seeing what it was all leading up to. What are my thoughts on AMC's adaptation of Interview with the Vampire coming out soon? I will give it a shot. my thoughts are I'm not crazy confident about other new things that AMC is going to be doing at this point, because I feel like this show is the last of the old guard on AMC. But I will definitely watch it, and I'm interested to see it because I did enjoy the movies and I did read the books when I was younger. So I have some sort of affinity for the world and the project. So I am curious enough to watch it. Yeah, Lalo's going to die. He has to. We still need to see what happens to Gene. Gene is for me, in the people that have watched this since the beginning of Breaking Bad, that's where a lot of the build up and the craziness has been since the beginning. It's, wow, that's after Breaking Bad. I want to see what happens to Saul. I want to see where Jimmy's ends up in the final act of his life here. So I do think it's hard for me to imagine that they're not going to be able to reach another big high. It just might not be the same kind of high. I think we might have reached our run of big dramatic death kind of things, but who knows? Lalo's still around. And Kim and Jimmy are involved with him now. We wanted I wanted this. I shouldn't say people wanted this. People and me wanted this to have the stories intertwined here in this last half. And I think that's what this says. That's what, in the same way that the Hank shitting on the toilet, finding the book did for the final part of Breaking Bad, what this is doing is combining the storylines now at the end. Everything is combined. There's ultimately probably not going to be a Kim and Jimmy's other schemes. It's going to be everyone in the same circle in that one storyline. And so it brings the story together for this final part and starts to amp it up a little bit as well. Kim is going to die too, says Emerald. Maybe Kim will become a lawyer for the cartel. Kim might like it more than we think. Kim got told off by Howard just before he gets shot. Maybe what he said to her will sink in and she'll leave this life. I'd love to believe that, Soft Batch, but everything I've seen about Kim means that I think she's going to get stronger and crueler and rougher because of this, not better, and this isn't going to teach her a lesson. But I hope you're right. I hope Kim gets out because we know Jimmy doesn't. We know Jimmy doubles down on this life. And why? Does he double down on his life because Kim leaves him and says, I can't be a part of this, you're toxic? Does Jimmy double down on this life because something bad happens to Kim and he knows nothing else? It's hard to say. I mean, there's also a million other possibilities too, because the writers are smarter than I am. So it's just fun, and that's where we're at. And I never thought I'd say this about a fucking prequel, but I am so excited about the possibilities of where this is going. And some people will say, "Oh yeah, sure, we know where this is going." Yeah, but no. And there's something to be said about calling your shots. And knowing where you're going, but still doing everything so awesome that it's turns into one of the greatest projects of all fucking time. Oh my God, what are we fucking watching? Are we in this alternate fucking universe where the spin-off series that's a fucking prequel is one of the greatest shows of all time? That's actually in competition with the main series as one of the greatest shows in the last 20, 30 years on television. It's unbelievable to me in some ways that we're actually having this conversation about this show. And I mean, in my mind, I kind of think about them as one big show, but they're severely different in a lot of ways and both great and both have arguments for that competition. But when we're getting into that discussion, both shows they share some traits and elements and obviously the same world, but their tone, the way they tell stories are different. Their peaks are similar in the way you feel like when you're watching a Breaking Bad or a Better Call Saul peak of a crazy moment happening, you feel this energy inside you like it's something like you've never seen before. Whether it's Chuck on the stand, whether it's Jesse and Walter dissolving a body or something, whatever these moments, or Walter going into a room and throwing something, or whatever these big Breaking Bad moments, or realizing what Walter did with the kid, or with Jane, sitting there watching Jane. Like, these moments that you get are these huge, crazy moments. Better Call Saul has similar moments. Like, the peaks remind me of each other. Like, this moment tonight, I feel like I did after watching a Breaking Bad episode. Same with after the Nacho episode. Like, that same crazy energy. And it's a Better Call Saul feel. I'm not saying, I'm only saying it to say that they are analogous in a lot of ways. They are comparable. The way that they tell stories is very different. The way they achieve and get to those peaks, whether it be the rapidness of which they do it, in the sense of Breaking Bad's storytelling element of like bump, amping up like you're going uphill on a roller coaster, and then you go down, where Better Call Saul walks around a little bit more, stretches its arms out, sits back, climbs up the mountain, jumps off, and then jumps off. They both end up jumping off, going down for a hell of a ride, but one goes up more steadily and one takes its time. And one develops deeper into characters, one revolves more around the narrative. But ultimately, both things do both things really well. Both shows do both things exceptionally well. I just feel like there are subtle differences, but they also, this is that feeling. This is the feeling that I've been searching for since I started doing these podcasts and these live shows. The first show I ever talked about on this channel, all those years back, was the final season of Breaking Bad. The final 8 episodes or whatever it was, were the first things that I came out here and talked live to people about. Or I don't think I was even doing it live. I was doing it live on an app called Ustream at the time. And then I'd upload them to YouTube on this channel. But this excitement, this feeling inside that I search for with other shows that I only get from a Vince Gilligan and a Peter Gould show. Thank you, guys. Not you guys watching, to the guys making the show. Thank you for making another show, because after Breaking Bad ended, I didn't think I'd get to go on this ride again. And you've created another show and helped us all go on another fucking amazing ride. And fuck all. 7 weeks. It's gonna be hell waiting for those 7 weeks, but we're gonna be here. All of us are gonna be here after that episode. And I hope all of you guys join me after that episode and pop on in here, and we can talk about yet another episode of this amazing show and see how they stick this fucking landing. Holy hell. Let me take a couple more live chats and then call this a live show. Little Floaty says, I don't think Kim will walk away clean because Vince said everyone gets what they deserve in the end. It's very true. Siren, the wonderful, amazing Siren Thomas is in the live chat. Lots of love to Siren Thomas and to the amazing Maud Mary, who's in there too. Lots of love to our classic folks that are here saying hi to us. Mike takes care of Howard's body. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Mike takes care of it. Because they don't know that he's involved in this situation with Lalo, and how would they? And Lalo's not going to clean up the body himself. He's going to leave it there and go, you guys deal with this. and I think their instinct is going to be to call Mike, because who else will they call for this? Unless they call like Huel or something, or Cuddy. Maybe this is where Cuddy comes into play. Or they call the vet guy to buy the book so they can figure out someone who does clean up stuff, someone that does do something like this. Kim becomes Don Eladio's lady. I can see that. I don't think they'll get much sleep tonight. I don't think anyone's getting much sleep tonight. You think Gene might die at the end? That's what I'm thinking. But my instinct is to say Gene dies at the end because that's conclusive. But I also know that these guys are way smarter than me and will come up with something way more clever than I could conceptualize sometimes. So I don't know. It could be something. It could be something could be him going back to his normal life, saying "fuck all, I'm going back and facing the charges." I honestly don't know. I honestly have no fucking clue. And that's part of the excitement, no? But my instinct is to say, yeah, Gene probably dies, but maybe not, because we already had the fake out with the heart attack. So it would seem like they would have saved something like that for the end, or maybe he dies trying to protect himself or going back. Maybe he goes to jail. I don't know. Mary Andrew says, I don't think, what did Mary ask? Who's going to report the death? Nobody. I think they'll make the body disappear. And then they'll set it up. Someone mentioned this earlier. Maybe they'll try to set this up to make it look like a suicide. But I feel like they'll just make the body disappear. And after everything that happened, it won't be too hard to make notice of that. Holy shit, Maud Mary, thank you so much for that super chat donation. Thank you to all the super chatters tonight. It means more than you know to me to do that. And I'm going to pour this drink for you. I'm not spinning wheels tonight because it's a little too late for music. So just keep drinking. Will Kim tell Jimmy that she knew Lalo was alive? My instinct, that's a good question, Maud Mary. I didn't even think about the possibility that Kim could keep the lie going. My instinct when you say that is to start singing the, you tell one lie, it leads to another, then you tell two lies to cover each other, then you tell three lies, oh brother. And that Kim will keep lying about it. Lie, 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 deny, till you cannot deny anymore. And I think that's just Kim's MO right now. So it's hard for me to imagine that she'd own up to any of this, but she might in the moment after the fact because she's dealing with the traumatic event of Howard's death. But but that's what I do. I drink and I know things. Ooh, thank you for that super chat, Maud Mary. I needed another drink. Gene is going to make it out. No doubt, says T-Rex. I don't think any of them will get. Kim and Skylar getting a condo in Aspen. And Walt Jr. opens up a breakfast shop. I think we've definitely won this. Maybe we'll see a 50-gallon drum with some acid in next week. The cab driver was a huge jerk in the mall. I mean, he's dealing with that cab driver. He's got to deal with that cab driver, right? Jeffrey the cabbie is really Lalo after he survives in a pail of acid, changing his face. There's more comic relief in Better Call Saul. Yeah, Maud Mary, 100%. That's why I was saying that a little bit earlier. I think Better Call Saul was also intentionally way more funny because you got Bob Odenkirk in the show. You also had Michael McKean, two of the greatest comedic actors that have both dramatic powers and comedic powers. And then on top of that, you just have a funny cast in general where you have like William Ogg show up at one point in time, who's fucking hilarious. Mike. Ooh, I was able to actually hit the mute button before I burped that time. Jonathan Banks does humor really well too, like just timing well. And they have like some of Bob's buddies show up here and there, like just to do like comedic sketchy type stuff. They have comedians pop up to do little sketch moves here and there. Like on Breaking Bad, you had Badger Skinny Pete, Saul, and Jesse could be funny, but Jesse was more, by the end, I wouldn't call him more of a tragic character than a hilarious character, even though he had a lot of funny one-liners. But Breaking Bad was more unintentional humor, like stuff that you laughed at and you're like, oh, I shouldn't laugh at this. Oh, like in the same way Oz is funny. You know, like in this like fucked up way, that's just like, oh, this shouldn't be funny, but it's fucking hilarious. Like awkward funny, Breaking Bad does really well. Better Call Saul is intentionally hilarious sometimes. Some of Bob's rants, this whole thing where do I still have this up here? Yeah, like the squat cobbler shit, like all the squat cobbler shit is just dumb funny. The Kettlemans are fucking dumb funny. There's so many dumb funny moments on Better Call Saul where Breaking Bad's humor again is more dark comedy. That just is in the fabric of the show because Bryan Cranston and Aaron Paul are the modern day odd couple in some ways. So you get a lot of humor off of that, but it's almost unintentional humor, argumentative humor, like Sam and Diane arguing humor, a moonlighting humor. Whereas Better Call Saul is intentionally bitty, funny, hilarious shit. Dutch Apple asks, Lalo is mentioned in Breaking Bad, KMG, in the desert when they kidnap him. Did Lalo send you? Did Ignacio send you? And great to see KMG TV in the live chat again. Great to have you with us. Great to have, she knows better not to tell Saul. If she tells Jimmy, says Maud Mary, soft batches, if she tells Jimmy she knows with Lalo that Lalo, she'll know she'll connect it to Gus and that his people, which will confirm his suspicions from the desert episode. I agree, soft batch. I think her instinct is to not tell him. If she does tell him, it's going to be in the heat of the moment because of being upset about what happened to Howard. But I think everything's going to be wrapped up, and Jimmy's going to assume she didn't know, and she's just going to go with it. She's not going to correct him. He's going to be like, oh my God, we didn't know. Oh shit. We thought you were dead. The shadow lines everyone thinks in jail also could be a spider web of lies. Oh, I like that. Maud Mary says Jesse was the funniest part of Breaking Bad. I accept that. It's hard to argue with that. Aaron Paul is hilarious in the role, but he gets sad in the second half of it, post the Jane situation. He always throws in the funny one-liners and stuff, and he does throw in a lot of the comic relief. I do accept that Aaron Paul is definitely hilarious. But I think some of it also is, like I said, an unintentional humor where he's funny because of how stupid he is at times, or how inept, or how awkward, or how pompous he can be in the proper moment at the right time. Like when his cockiness does come out, it's funny, and it saying the thing that no one will say in the moment humor that Jesse does. But Jesse is fucking hilarious. Ray effing Seahorn deserves a fucking enemy, and I want to thank someone in the comment section for correcting me for mispronouncing Ray's name for pretty much the run of talking about this show. I think I called her Ree. So now, actually, if I ever get my chance with Ray effing Seahorn, I cannot bumble the ball and not know her fucking name. So, but yes, she deserves a fucking Emmy. Michael Mondo deserves it. Michael Mondo deserves me to remember his name. No, he deserves a fucking Emmy nomination at least for this. Michael McKean did way back when too, but she really does. And I've said this before, Bob Odenkirk will get work. I think Michael Mondo will get work moving forward. The actor that plays Lalo deserves more. Tony Dalton or whatever is that his name? He deserves to get great work after this as well. I hope he does. But Ray, I don't want her to see her get lost in the mix. She's extremely talented, and she's giving me one of the greatest television characters of all time. And on that list, in my top 20 of like greatest television characters on screen, dramatic television characters, came out of nowhere. This was a surprising one too on this show. They were able to add three with Chuck. A couple of other really good ones, but I'd say three more exceptionally iconic characters to this universe with Lalo, Kim, and Chuck. And like really well fleshed out, interesting, multifaceted, amazing balls kind of characters with the three of them. And I want to see Ray get all the flowers. She deserves it. She deserved it last season. She deserves it this season. If she doesn't get it one of these 2 years, like, I don't know what to fucking say. Like, she's just incredible. And the episode she directed this year too and acted in it, fuck them. Like, give the woman her money. She deserves it. Sorry, it's a horrible Teddy KGB. But she deserves it. I love you, Maud Mary. Who would win Best Supporting Actor between Nacho and the Howard actor? I'd give it to Nacho. As much as Howard did excellent in this episode and the way he went out was incredibly shocking, and he delivered an incredible performance here, Nacho in those first 3 episodes, Michael Mondo in episode 3, still on the performance individually by a single person, he takes the cake. This episode, I think I liked this episode better because I'm more built up with the stakes with Jimmy and Kim and Howard's story and all this from the beginning of the storyline and all this sort of shit. But I think if we're talking individual performance, Michael Mondo still has the performance of the season, besides Kim. But and that's just like, and Bob, of course. But I'm almost like just accepting that Bob's awesome now, like Bob's a given. It's like when you're talking to the Wu-Tang, you just accept that Method Man's the. It's like, who's the best besides Method Man? Method Man's the best. Like Bob is just killing it, but it's, so I would say Nacho for performance, Howard here for episode. It is. It's too late for Michael McKean, but not for Ray and Michael Mondo to get their Emmys. They deserve it. They deserve it. They deserve the attention for this show and the love that comes with it for being these amazing characters. Sorry, I had to scratch my nose. And whenever I scratch my nose, even if I'm going up, see how I'm clearly up here and I'm doing like a scratch up here? I always feel like it looks disgusting. Like it looks like I'm picking my nose, even if I'm scratching. I know. Things you don't want to hear about for 100, Alex. Well, I see 23% of the answers are liars. Oh yeah, thank you so much, Spot On. We gotta get to the vote. Yeah, let's end it right now while we're stuck here. End the poll while we get that many votes on here. Let's see our goal. 420 votes. You guys, I love you guys. I love you. And that shows that we have about 420 people cycling through tonight, at least, that have been watching tonight. So all in all, so thank you guys for another amazing, successful evening for Better Call Saul. This was a comeback show for me on the channel, the most success we've had around here for a while. So I appreciate all you guys joining in on these Better Call Saul after shows. It's been an incredible amount of fun to see a lot of faces. After 2 years, you guys coming back in all sorts of new faces, thanks to the Kiwi and thanks to all of you guys, the mods, the super chatters. All of you guys have made this a really fun half a season, and we're going to do it again in 7 weeks. And fucking unbelievable. But stay subscribed here. I'm going to be talking about some other shows here, so make sure you're following all notifications. Let's see, 420. Did you see the end coming? We got 77% of people said no, 22% of people said yes, and Spot On says, well, I see 23% of those answers are liars. I'm not saying that, but we're going to say 22% of people said they saw it coming. We have 420 votes. I love that. It's a good place to leave. I know, Joseph. That's why I had to stop it before we even got one more note. Got one more text. We'll kick a couple more comments from the chat and then wrap this up. What if Mike saw Lalo arrive at the apartment? He didn't, because we specifically heard Mike say to Gus, we've taken all of our men off of the secondary targets. So they specifically told us in the scene before that Mike was not watching Saul and Kim. He had given up on the secondary targets to focus all of his attention on watching Gus directly. So, in a way, this is all Mike's fault. Who's going to be watching the entire series again before July 11th? I am Maud Mary. I'm actually going to be watching both. I'm going to be trying to watch both series. It's about time I did a rewatch of Breaking Bad. I'm going to do Breaking Bad rewatch and then Better Call Saul rewatch. I'm going to try to get them both done in the next 6 weeks. Maybe I'll go the other way around just to get Saul in first, since I've rewatched Breaking Bad more often and I have only done one watch of Better Call Saul, and I watch each episode a couple of times before I call it a week, but I've only really binged the series once. So maybe I'll start with Saul and then watch Breaking Bad afterwards, if I have time. And then, but I am going to do that as well. What are your thoughts? Oh, no, I'm not sure about that. I didn't read that, so I can't comment on that bizarre podcast. Entire show. I think I'll watch the whole series again. Everyone, let's do it. Let's all watch the entire series again. This will not be the last Better Call Saul content I have before the season starts. I will be on here at least once more time with the Kiwi somewhere, the Vivid Kiwi, sometime between the seasons, probably sometime in June. We'll do it towards the end of June. We're going to do a predictions, theories kind of video. Maybe we'll see if we can get a couple of other Better Call Saul streamers as well. I know Kiwi's connected to a few. Maybe talk to a couple of, talk to Joe on my end, maybe Tony as well. See if some people want to pop in, make it a more of a roundtable thing. Or just the Kiwi and I will have a fun discussion. We'll figure it out, or maybe both things. And I know I might pop over for a pre-recorded thing on the Kiwi's channel as well to talk some Better Call Saul. Joe Dirty Locks and I will be on next Sunday evening, I believe, probably around 8 or 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to talk about Joe's thoughts on Better Call Saul and also some other shows, talking about the Boys trailer that Joe didn't get a chance to see. Maybe we might also talk a little bit of House of Dragon 2, as I don't think Joe has seen the trailer for that either. So we're going to catch Joe up with a bunch of stuff on that time. Did you, these episodes have been fire. They really will be. I cannot fucking wait. By the way, her dog stepped on a bee. I have done Breaking Bad 4 times, and I rewatched Better Call Saul to be caught up before each season. So Softbatch, thank you so much for joining us. And again, I've seen so many new faces in here. This is making me very, very happy. Seeing the new faces with the old faces and everyone together. This is awesome. Everyone, if you haven't already and you enjoyed this podcast, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Share the channel with a friend. I hope you guys are enjoying. If any of you have any Better Call Saul other channels you want me to do something with, or want them to come over here and join a live show or something like that, the best way that can happen is through you guys, the comment section. It's not always the best coming from one creator to another creator without... It's like, throw it in the comment section of someone's video. You should go on Phil the Issues Guy show. You should have him on your stuff. It always works better that way, and then they'll come over, they'll contact, rather than... It's always better from a secondary source. So I'm one of these people that I will literally work with anyone. I have my favorites. I have my partners in crime, Tony Teflon, Bridge 4, Carmine, Preston, like the people I love. I love talking to. Joe, of course, Walking David, like my team, my people. But I always love talking to all different kinds of channels. Nick from History Buff's another person I consider on my team, one of the people that I just love talking to. But there's so many people I love just getting to talk to anyone. It was amazing getting to talk to the Kiwi last week. It was great to have different people on The Walking Dead, or when I did feedback shows for Game of Thrones, I have a bunch of different creators on. So I'm always down to make it happen. So you feel free to suggest it to anybody. You can always give them my email, get my contact stuff. IGetIssuesMan@gmail.com. Everyone, I'll be back in 7 weeks to do this shit again. Love you guys. Have a good night. Well, I don't want to end things. We still have over 100 people here. It's hard to end things, but love you guys. Bye.